I spent the next 100 days farming. Farming is a huge part of Minecraft, and it doesn't get enough credit, so I'm gonna build the best farming village out there, complete with bakeries, plantations, and even a sushi shop for all our food needs. My goal is to bring every crop to life, from tomatoes to cabbage and mangoes to coconuts. I'm gonna use it all to make stuff like hamburgers, spaghetti, and even beer. Okay, wait, we don't need to talk about that part. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my deep dive into Minecraft farming. Alright, day one as a farmer. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I'm going to name this Stardew Valley or as a farmer or something, but I mean, we just get started right off the bat with some cabbages here. This is perfect. The goal of the entire video is to pretty much collect as many farming resources as I possibly can. But no, not beetroot. We're not keeping that. But that did mean finding a village right off the bat is a great start, because I'm sure it has some random items that I haven't even heard of just lurking inside. Corn. Okay, that's another thing. We got corn and cabbage already. Completely different mods. Love that. Can't wait. Carrying on, there were a few things in this village that were great to find. One being hay bales, because that's easy access to wheat, bread, and possibly pasta in the future. Alongside that, I was lucky enough to find a double librarian house, which has 8 bookshelves inside, halfway to a full level 30 table. I scooped those up, sure the villagers won't mind too much, and headed over to their nearest farm to steal potatoes, wheat seeds, and carrots. Alright, now that we've gotten a few items already, I'm liking this. We should probably cut down our first tree. I don't know why we didn't do this first, but we chose not to. Wait, why is this taking so long? Normally I do the block breaking thing, but this just took a while. What the heck? Alright, I'm kind of happy about that. Tree feller sort of mod. That's great. Look at this. I can just break this thing. Whoa, cool. It falls. All right, anyway, the moment's gone. I took that tree and went over to a nearby cave so I could make myself my wooden pickaxe and then mine up for stone tools. However, in this version of my Stardew Valley remake, I've decided to make it a little bit harder to get good tools. I'm using a mod that rolls my tools through tiers, common all the way up to legendary. And I got lucky really early on. Wow, a legendary stone axe off rip? Okay, that's crazy. And you know what? The luck is gone. That makes sense. But even so, I wanted to have really good stone tools for the start, so I wasn't accepting anything below epic, which is crazy because it's very lucky to get epic, but I didn't care. Dang, all right, that's why we grab up the extra stone. We can start this video off right. We got a legendary axe, epic stone pickaxe, and an epic stone sword. This is so sick. What the heck? I never get this lucky. All right. I'm already excited to start using these. I mean, they're stone tools, but I'm kind of excited to still use them. Now, in this world, I decided to add in a couple of biome type mods, like Terralith being the main one, so that things aren't boring and maybe a little bit like the real world. But we still have to find a place to live. And since my plan was to live pretty close to spawn, I also decided not to kill any of the animals in case I wanted to make a farm out of them. After reaching the top of one of the nearby hills, I spotted in this perfect valley with orange and green trees. When I got there, I realized it was by the water and already previously inhabited. This was a perfect place to be. Oh, there's like a little campsite right here. This is awesome. Okay, we get a little bit of more extra stuff. And you know what? Honestly, I kind of liked this area. You know, it's very heavily wooded, but it seems pretty safe because we've got hill on this side. There's a hill over there, and then we are right next to the water over here. And I'm liking this. You know, goal 1 for the first day, maybe 2. Sometimes it takes me 3 even to find the right house area. But I think we did it. I think this is where we're gonna stay. I mean, I'm gonna steal the stuff that's here and then claim it as mine and then probably live here. But who wouldn't? Who wouldn't claim all this stuff and then, you know, just live here? Because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna live here. I set up our starter base with some barrels, chests, crafting table, furnaces, whatever, and then took to the tree line so that I could figure out how I want to make my house around here. Now, the basic plan for this video is to have a gigantic farm area, a bunch of different shops, houses, and realistically villager friends to help run it all. I want to take farming to the next level so that I can get items such as spaghetti and meatballs, hamburgers, sushi for some reason, and I can't do that in an empty plot of land. But the endeavor of taking on that entire project on day 2 may be a little too intense. So instead, my idea is to set up a pretty small base somewhere off to the side so it doesn't ruin my plans for a giant farm area. I scouted about the hillside just to see if there was any flat land that I could see putting a base. That's when I stumbled upon a new structure pretty close to where I thought I could place one. Oh, Okay, an emerald. I can't mine that. And we got a pot, a decorative pot. I don't know how to use these, to be completely honest. Oh, they have different designs on every... Oh, that's cool. You know, I should learn how to make those. I have not divulged or doved? I haven't body cared into the pots update, so we should maybe... Oh, this is kind of... Maybe we could put a house here. If I cleared out these trees. Alright, I think this area will probably be good enough. I do want to clear... I mean, obviously I don't want to have our house slanted or anything, so I want to clear out the land, which means I gotta make shovels. But that's gonna take a minute. I wonder if I can get a good shovel before we do that. No, you cannot. You cannot have good shovels. In fact, I didn't get any good shovels. I was just getting commons and uncommons the entire time. So I just settled on going up there with 3 uncommons to see how far I could get. Shocker, working up here with 3 uncommon shovels, they had the tendency to break a few different times. I'm starting to rethink this tier system just because of how obnoxious it can be, but it can be really good, so it has its ups and downs. But by the end of the night, we had some work done, not all. There's probably more dirt to get. Stone tools really made this project more obnoxious than it had to be, plus I decided to go for a larger house than I should have, but we all know that's not my problem anymore. It's just what I do. I spent the rest of day 3 just making the land up here flat enough for a house. I haven't tried diagonal builds, and I definitely haven't tried to put them on hills before, so this was a necessary step in the process. But no one told me how much stone I'd also have to be mining. It might be useful for later, but still, seriously, it really doubled the time of this project. Alright, 2 days of work, basically, for just the platform. This might take a while. Holy cow. Alright, well, now we need some things to actually build the house. The palette I want to use is stone, spruce, dark oak, and brick. Those are like the 4 main things that I want to grab. Thankfully, I know we already have a ton of spruce. Yeah, thanks to cutting down some trees up there. Probably enough for the build. I don't know if we have enough stone already, but I should put some of it to smelt because I want stone and not cobblestone. But the other hard thing that's gonna have to take a while to get is brick. Now, I think it's from clay. It's been a while since I've done brick. Do we smelt the clay, or do we make the... No, yeah, we smelt clay into brick and then we craft the brick blocks. Okay, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow when mobs are probably not gonna want to eat me alive. Day 4, I start off doing one of the 2 things that we're gonna need for this build, getting coal. Now, part of the build is gonna be made out of stone and then brick, 2 things that actually have to be smelted down. So I gathered up as much of this black substance as I could until I decided to work on getting some cobblestone. I really wish I had a silk touch pickaxe this early. It would make so much of my work easier, but I do not have that luxury. The house that I have planned has a few basic elements, and we've got the stone one checked off. Alright, this should probably be enough stone and coal. Let's set these aside, and then I want to go grab dark oak, which I think we saw where we got the peaches, so back towards spawn. There's a lot of trees in this forest, but dark oak isn't one of them, so I just have to find the right tree. I think it's out here. Surely one of these is dark oak. Is that? Oh yeah, that's dark oak. These are all perfect. Okay, the walnut trees are dark oak trees. Good to know. With that settled, I went around chopping up a bunch of these trees. I do wish that they were the larger variation of dark oak. Would have made this process a lot easier, but probably would have broken my axe too soon. However, since I only really wanted dark oak for the roof, I was hoping a stack or so of the block was enough. Alright, now we've got stone smelting, we have dark oak, and we already have spruce. So the last thing I have to go grab is all the clay in the water. This is a really obnoxious mission. I mean, why'd it have to be underwater, man? Like, one of the hardest places to go for items. Clay is like one of those intimidating beasts in my opinion. Like, one of the harder things to get in Minecraft, just early game. Like, I don't have respiration or aqua affinity, let alone a really good shovel that can actually dig through this stuff quickly. So going for brick this early may have been a mistake, but I'm hoping it makes the house look a lot better. Alrighty, I think this is probably enough clay. I might need to make a couple more furnaces though. I forgot I had to smelt the clay. Did not think this through. Might need to go get more coal as well. Huh. Yep, we're gonna need a lot more coal. Day 5, realizations for this house build are already starting to hit. I probably don't have enough resources for the base. So we start our day yet again, gathering more coal. I know it's basically a repeat day, but we're doing it anyway. Then of course there's the actual smelting we have to go through. We've basically only done 2 stacks of stone so far and have 8 or 9 of clay to do. This won't take long at all. But that's not gonna stop me from trying to start this thing anyway. I wanna fully embody farming, like the farming lifestyle. I wanna have nice cozy homes, you know, nothing too harsh or anything like that. You know, I just want to make it real nice and simple. How do I want to build this actually? I don't know, I never do. I already got the spacing wrong and we're having to fix it early. But there's actually only 2 goals for this house. One is the kitchen. I want a very nice kitchen area so that I can cook all of the foods that we're gonna be trying to get. And 2, a basic chest system so that I can store stuff. Like, there's not really a need for a lot of chests or anything, but I do really want to have this place be permanent until I make a lot larger of a house. So we gotta have all the basic essentials fit in here. I didn't want this room to be too big, and I've kind of made it big. What else can I do with this other than make it chests? Because like, this is really, it's a very long, tiny area. What if we make it chests and then like put a bed or something, or I don't know. We'll figure this out when we get to it. I spent the rest of the day just trying to get the framework for the house done. The front of the place is what we really need to focus on right now. I don't have enough stone to fill out the rest of the house, but I do have the dark oak for the roof, so we can at least start on that. And by the end of day 5, we actually had something going for us, but there's no roof on it, so I'm not sleeping there tonight. Last night, I didn't really want to work on the house because there was a possibility of monster spawns, but I made a bunch of torches and I'm gonna rectify that issue. Now, with as bright as this place is, I shouldn't have to worry and could build through the night. Could, because I may not. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But speaking of building, I got back to it by resuming the roof. It's honestly a kind of boring roof. I mean, it's just slabs that slightly go upwards, so it's nothing special. But that's where the very small amount of brick that I have comes in. Does it look better? I hope it looks better. Anyway, before running out of materials, I decided to texture some of the inside of the house. The stone was gonna be cobblestone. I don't know why I smelt up so much stone and then mine it and turn it back into cobblestone. Seems like a fault in the programming here, but I'm doing it anyway. But I do think every single build ever looks better with texturing. Now, when texturing, I'm only doing moss on the bottom because, you know, moss typically grows from the bottom up, I think. That could be how it works, or it couldn't, who knows. Anyway, I went on to build a chimney in the back of the house, just a venting area for when we do eventually make that awesome kitchen, and then planned out what I want around our house to make it stand out a little bit. Yeah, I think this area is probably going to be more experimenting with crops, while this area on the side, maybe we have a couple animals or something, but it would be best if we put in a tower right here. This will make it look a lot better. And not so flat. That's another thing. This build is kind of very flat just because the roof is very small. Like, I don't have a huge roof on this one this time. So I think if we add a little bit of height difference, other than just the chimney's great and all, but like, we need a real height difference. So I think a small tower here would, oh, well, it would do better if I had more stone. I went back and waited by the furnaces so I could collect some brick and stone to finish off this build. The tower, coincidentally, also needed some texturing, so I used some leftover stone brick from that structure that was here before. And the roof, super simple. Once again, we're literally just like using slabs and some brick on top. Does it look fantastic? It's for you to decide. What the? How'd you get on my roof? Doesn't matter now, because the house is complete. It's like the morning of the next day, and the sun is rising, and our house is basically pretty much almost done. Except for the interior and moving in, which happened on day 7. First step was making the inside roof because the brick was showing. I honestly just decided that some slabs and trapdoors was enough to keep it occupied. Again, this place isn't meant to be permanent. However, I did have to pack up camp and move up there, which did take a little bit of time. It's not like I have chests full plural, just chest, but I still hadn't figured out the system in which I'm storing stuff in the house. I originally thought 6 chests on the long side of the house was gonna be a good idea, but I'm gonna overthink the amount of space I have soon enough. Now, before I decorate my house, I kinda wanna look through here and see if there's anything that I can build for either a kitchen area or like, I don't know exactly what. I know we need like the stove and stuff for Farmer's Delight, but I want some other stuff. Maybe Maybe some of these cabinets would be cool. Maybe another frying pan. I don't know. I just want to find some cool things in here that'll like spruce up our kitchen. Those things would have to wait though, as I forgot the floor was still grass. Not exactly what I want, so I mined it out and replaced it with brick. And on the surprisingly slight chance my brain decided to brain, I came up with a new idea for the chests. Instead of having them at the end of the hallway, I would make them the length of the hallway. I am never gonna need this amount of chests ever. I also carved out the chimney area with the idea to put some campfires back here for extra light. And of course, the final component to complete the house for at least the day was adding in a couple of windows. I feel like every room should have, at the very least, a window. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. Now, even though we have our house done, the inside isn't quite there yet, mostly because we don't have the resources to finish it off, the main one being iron. So I thought, what a great day to go out and mine. It'd be a great time to traverse the land and look for a cave. Not the one directly below my house that scares me half to death, though. Whoa, what is that? Whoa, what kind of village is this? Hold on, we're gonna delay our mining trip a little bit. I want to go check out this village. Dude, that looks so cool. Okay, yeah, we gotta go look at this thing. I completely forgot the mods that I added to this video, and this custom village was not part of my planned list. However, I am very glad it's here. This is why we go over here. Look at this cave. That thing is massive. That'll have so much iron for us, along with this village, hopefully having some epic starter loot for us. Ooh, oh, that's not what I expected to be. Okay, well, guys, you need to like, oh, never mind. I was gonna say bookkeep better, but like, this is awesome. I am stealing all of this. I continue to loot the village for a bunch of random items that I may need in the future, one of which being way too many lanterns. I thought it would cut down on the iron cost. All until I made it to the center where a giant castle was to greet me. All right, what else do we have in here? We got a... Oh, baby, a triple. I like this. All right, got that raw iron as well. Anvil, I will take happily. I mean, it's a little damaged, pretty heavily damaged. I hate making these, so yeah, I'll take that. After gathering a bunch more random items to add to my collection, I realized my inventory was already full. Mining kind of took a little bit of a detour, didn't it? I've come to the conclusion that it's probably best to leave my mining trip alone for a little while, because after looting this entire village, oh man, I'm already full on all that stuff. After looting this entire village, I gotta go home and drop all this stuff off. How am I gonna mine with a full inventory? I mean, a lot of this stuff I could probably drop, or you think I should drop, but I'm not going to, because a lot of it's decorations for the house, okay? We need it. So I'm gonna head back there and then come back for this cave right here, because this thing looks insane. I gotta go down there. After dropping stuff off, I made my way back to the huge cave on the next day. I jumped in, hoping that there were just not going to be any mobs to greet me. I really don't want to deal with skeletons, let alone creepers right now. I think we're actually good. Holy cow, there's not a mob in sight. I just got lucky. I feel it. I can already tell I'm going to explode soon enough. But while we're down here, the only thing I'm really hunting for is iron. Like, I'm not going to try and grab stacks upon stacks of it, because that's just not going to be helpful, but I do want a decent set of armor, maybe rare or uncommon, and then I definitely want maybe an epic rare set of tools for a little while. I mean, they're going to break eventually. They're going to break a lot, most likely, so I don't know if I'll get that lucky or if I'll even have enough iron to make that happen, but if I do, that'll be great. That'll be the goal. This cave actually led to the goal pretty much being complete. I found vein of iron after iron. It was awesome. The more of this I have, the better iron armor I can make, and the better iron armor I can make, the safer I'll be when I go explore the cave below my house, the scary one that is gigantic. After getting enough iron for hopefully a set or two, because I'm not gonna get lucky with the armor on my first try, I headed back to base to smelt it all down and try my luck. There we go. All right, so we got epic, uncommon, uncommon, which, wait, 5% speed minus, okay, cool. So we're at the exact same speed with these items, which is great. And then I made a rare, and legendary set of iron tools for when these ones break, which is awesome to have on hand. And with how many armor bars this gives me, we're basically almost at diamond, which is perfect, because there's no way I'm gonna go get diamonds right now. This is way too early for that. However, with this armor, I can check out the new cave below. This place happens to be massive. massively full of creepers for some reason. I don't know why they're all down here, but I need them to shoot. Inside, I mainly focused on grabbing a bit more iron, not that I needed or anything. I totally do, I wasted it all on armor. But after gathering all the easy bits, I wanted to check out the mine shaft. This place probably doesn't go too far down, considering we're still in stone and not deep slate, but there was always the possibility of finding a diamond in one of the loot chests down here. I just didn't get that lucky. So I finished out the day by mining the last bits of iron over a stack and then returning home. I lied, the mineshaft hadn't ended yet and I was still very curious to see what I could find. I'm glad I did, because the further down I got in the mineshaft, the more stuff I saw. Yes, my first time. Ooh, in a Feather Falling 3 book. Okay, I was a lot happier just seeing the diamond. You didn't have to grace me with one of the best books in the game. Even though the mineshaft had ended, the cave had not. Further down, I was finding even more structures this deep underground. Villager hat. Oh. Wait. Aha! We have a little, wait, hold on. We have a little hat. Look at the hat. My hair goes through it, but we have a hat. I think that makes it so that trading with villagers, the prices decrease. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. I kept going down, grabbing the ores along the way, but still came to a point where the mine shaft continued. Whoa, now this is a cave. That leads all the way up to the surface, and oh, we found our own natural diamonds. Things just kept looking up for your boy. I mean, I'm not down here for diamonds or anything like that, but I'm not gonna say no to them. Who would do that? These things are awesome for early game. They also inadvertently led me to another mine shaft chest where I got another artifact, an obsidian skull. The wearer becomes temporarily immune to fire damage when hurt by fire. I mean, I am not opposed to not being hurt by fire, and it looks like we can test it out. Oh! Oh! Well, that's pretty sick. That is pretty cool. Oh my word, there's so many diamonds that way. This was not the cave I was expecting to find. I genuinely was not, playing for favorites here, trying to get some diamonds or anything. I was just going through the mine shaft hoping to find something more. I mean, we have like 3 stacks of iron. Clearly I wasn't going for diamonds, but this just keeps on giving, doesn't it? I continued through day 10 and 11 by scooping up as many diamonds as this cave was offering. The place ended up being so much bigger than I expected and gave me way more than I bargained for. So by the time I was able to go back to base, we basically scratched off mining trip for the rest of the video. All right, 1 mining haul later, and we have a little bit of iron, you know, just a smidge. Holy cow. 3 stacks of iron, a stack and 4 of diamonds, and no one cares about the rest because we're rich. All right, it's time we really work on this kitchen because the only thing we have is a couple of different types of furnaces, and that is not what we need right now. We need the stoves. That's right, we need stoves. Okay, hold on. I mean, realistically, we probably only need 2 stoves. Like, I don't think we'll be needing that many. They're really cool and all, but like, they only power 1 item, so I don't want to put too many. And I also think they should probably be closer to this guy here, which is our lovely fireplace. Maybe we make the kitchen on this side a little bit more than this side. Maybe we add like the bed over here or something and put a wall. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Boom. I mean, they both give off light, so what does it matter? And then we just do that. Okay, cool. Now we also need to make the, is it frying pan? Is it just pan? What is it called? We need the cooking pot, which is a shovel, water, brick. Okay, I have brick, iron, water, shovel, brick. Boom. Now we have 1 cooking pot, which does most of the things, but there's also a frying pan, if I'm not mistaken. The skillet. Oh, the skillet. Okay, that makes more sense, yeah. Frying pan, skillet, whatever. Boom. Okay. Cool. Now we have the sizzling hot skillet and the cooking pot. So whenever we want to make combined items or fry up like eggs or something like that, we do it there. The rest of the kitchen, however, was a bit of a project. We obviously needed to have smokers in the building because how else am I supposed to cook other food? But we also need the fun-loving ore smelters as well. And what better block to make a countertop than smooth stone, which of course we added in our cutting board and knife to it. All right, you know what? Instead of just coming up with stuff to make, we need to have a path. All right, we need something that we want to make right now and get to it. So I think what we do is we figure out one of these that we really want because of, you know, whatever it gives us, and then we just go for it. Like, we'll just grab everything we need for it. I scrolled through for a little while to figure out what I wanted to settle on, and I thought the steak and rice meal was probably a good choice. All it requires is baked potatoes, steak, bowl, onions, and rice. The only things I don't have currently are rice and onions, so I'll have to go for that later. But for now, I organized my storage a little bit so I knew what food I had. They all sit in this chest by the kitchen, which is a great spot for them, but I now think about it, I probably should have made a fridge. Day 13, my goal was to leave the house and target the 2 ingredients I needed for this steak and potatoes meal. We're out hunting the land for onions and rice, 2 things I don't know what they look like or where they grow. All right, what do we have here? We've got... Oh, wow, onions were very easy to find. Okay, that's... I didn't expect that, but we still gotta find rice. I really wish rice would be that easy. You know, onions were quite there already, but rice, I have no idea where to start looking. So wandering around, I found a structure and decided to check inside. Whoa, what the, is this a bar? Hold on, guys, what in the... Oh, it's actually, it is. This is actually a bar. Wait, and I can grab the, what? This place was super sick, but it didn't have any rice for me, so I moved on. I continued to collect animals on my journey because we'll need them later, all until I spotted a lighthouse off in the distance. The place had so many barrels full of fish, coal, and emeralds for some reason. Not exactly what I want to be seeing when I am hunting food, but there was another structure in the water next to it. Swimming over, I saw that it was a fish farm, probably the only place I could find rice. Lo and behold, I was right. Wait, if this is bag of rice, can I use this to make... Oh, I can use this to get rice. Oh, what a find. I literally was not finding it anywhere. But look at all the... Oh, what? What the heck? Hold on, is that actually... Okay, what do I really not need? I don't need the chili. Rice roll medley. Can I eat this? I don't really know. Oh, this is sick. There's like sushi rolls and oh, this is so cool. I love this little place. And it's clearly a fish farm, which is awesome. But now that we've collected stuff for the steak and potatoes meal, I decided to head home. Not that this place didn't give me any ideas for my base later. I now 100% want to build a sushi bar at home. Don't ask me why, it's just in the mod pack, so I want to do it. Okay, so you're gonna hate me. I forgot to record on day 14 while I was making the steak and potatoes meal that I just worked so hard for. But I will say, we have it now. It does a ton of hunger bars, but there was also a few other things I did. I decided to make a farm outside for the rice and onions because those were the 2 most important things. And then I went through and upgraded my iron armor, making sure it was legendary or epic, so my speed is a little bit increased, and I added the basic levels of enchants to it. I'm a little mad that I didn't hit record for some reason, but it happens, okay? So we'll just move on to day 15 like this one didn't happen. So today I discovered a new item, the saw, mostly because I wanted to make a tree farm, but I had to see what this thing does. Oh, it's a stone cutter, but for wood. Okay, that's actually really helpful. We should do something with this. Don't be fooled. I may have just made that item, but I will never use it. Don't ask me why. Anyway, I wanted to start planning out a wood farm over across this creek. We've got this giant stone area over here, and I feel like it would be a great place to make a tree farm. Mostly because the trees will stand out since it's not covered in trees. The very first thing I had to do was start terraforming. The hardest part is that it's all stone, so this isn't very easy. I basically wanted every single tree to be on the same flat land, and that required so much stone mining. I mean, it'll probably be useful later, but like, why did this have to be the project for today? Then, of course, since we only want dirt where the trees are going to be planted, I had to remove the small patches that were around here. It was a pain replacing all the dirt with cobblestone, but it looked a lot better afterwards. Then while finishing the day, I was attacked by every mob known to man. I don't know why they do this, all I wanted to do was finish my job. Alright, day 16, we're actually working on the placement of the trees. I want to have all of the types of trees that I'm actually going to be using in my builds, so we'll have oak, birch, dark oak, and spruce. Yes, only 4, but only 4 that I need, and for some reason I'm adding birch in there, I don't know why either. Anyway, since we have a tree feller mod, I thought it would be useful to put them in larger clumps. And then when it comes to spruce, we'll just have a gigantic line of it. It will probably get cut down in one go. It won't, I'm lying to myself. But that's a problem I'll have to fix later. I also went back to base after placing in all the dirt and got stuff for lampposts. That way it won't look too bad lighting wise over here. And this is the first time I'm actually building something for lanterns to go on. Normally I just spam them around, but this looks great. I added these all around the farm so that the trees would grow at nighttime and so that monsters wouldn't hide in them. But by the end of the day, I think we had a pretty cool little infested tree farm. All I have to do now is wait for the trees to grow and then harvest them. Oh, and build the buildings where I'm gonna store the harvest wood. Yeah, that'll be for tomorrow. Oh look, it's tomorrow and I need more clay. Yay! This stuff is gonna be the bane of my existence this entire video, I may let you know. The underwater fun time wasn't exactly that. This sucked. But after collecting almost a full inventory of it, I wanted to make an auto furnace smelter thingy. However, I didn't exactly think it through because if I just made 8 furnaces, it would have gone a lot faster than 1. But yeah, we'll just have to deal with this. Anyway, I needed more coal, so I hopped back down in the mine shaft cave from before to find some. For some reason, it wasn't exactly easy to find, but I just thought digging down may help for some reason. Eventually, I got some more after a long search, and instead of returning home from the cave, I had this brilliant plan to get brick right now. That's right, we're gonna run over to that village we found earlier. You know, the one with all the farmhouses full of brick and granite? Yup, I'm here to steal these. The daylight hours of day 18, I was here smacking brick, stealing from the animals. It's not exactly interesting or anything like that. I'm literally just harvesting blocks from some guy's house. But I did release the animals from captivity, so maybe vegans will like me a little bit better. Probably not, I keep eating meat in my videos. Back at base, I cleared out the dirt outline that I had and started on the foundation of this, like, storage base for wood. I don't really know what to call it. I guess I'm making a lumber yard here, and this is just the house to house it all. But I obviously wasn't able to finish it on day 18, so I went back and slept to resume the next few days. Day 19, we're going to start out with a replay because you saw the base house. Now we moved on to adding in the roof design, which was just going to be spruce and then oak in the middle. I didn't want to go too crazy with this build, mostly because it's just going to be a cottagecore town, and I can't really be having giant cathedral-like roofs now, can I? But there were a few things the replay didn't get, like a couple of lanterns having to be added for light, then of course adding in the beautiful glass windows, not that they're ever going to be used, I don't live here after all, and of course the pathway that's going to go through this entire build. Now early game I really wanted to try and stick to path blocks for the video, mostly because they're built to be a path. But they also look really good in contrast to every single build, mostly because it's a color that doesn't just come out in either wood, stone, or brick. But there was still one build I had yet to do, the log coverage area, which I don't actually know if this is like in real lumber yards or not. But basically I was just going in for a roofed open area where you could put logs underneath so they don't get wet in the rain. Someone tell me if this exists in real life or if I'm making it up. And by the end of day 20, I added in our last decorative barrel thingy and we were done. We have all of our trees, all of our storage, the stuff to be kept underneath the shed for the rain, the pathway leading all the way back to every single tree type. I love it. This place is perfect. Now all I need is a bridge and a skeleton. Cool. To start off day 21, I wanted to roll some diamond tools, specifically a pickaxe and an axe to see if I get anything good. I didn't. Right away, all I got was common. I tried again with the axe, and it wasn't looking better. Everything I continued to get was common and uncommon, and then I would refresh it for common. It was oh boy. I wasted like 12 diamonds on that. Probably shouldn't have done it. Thankfully, we had a stack of those, though. Now on to the real plans of the day. I need to go out and find some flint. The reason I need this stuff is because I want to make some fletching villagers. I know I don't have an area for them yet or anything like that, but I'll explain that too after I gather up all my flint. I'm gonna turn the left and right side of the sawmill entrance into villager housing. So we really can only house 4 villagers, but that's more than 0, I think, if I passed math when I was a kid. I want them here because obviously we're gonna have so much wood coming from this that I'm gonna have to trade it away because I won't be able to use it all. And I thought it would be really funny to run to the spawn village and just steal a guy. No? No one's with me here? I'm doing it anyway. The first one I took home seemed to enjoy it. I mean, he even took the Fletcher job right away. Look at that guy. He looks happy. Maybe. I wouldn't know. I'm not him. But he wasn't the only one. I went back to the village and got rid of all of their jobs so they feel like they have no purpose in life except to serve moi. Then I would bring them home, plop them down in their little stall, and hope that they got rid of their job because for some reason they didn't right away. But when they turn to Fletcher's, we're gonna be making heck of profit, I hope. Day 22, I want to start planning our real base, the full township that I'm gonna create, and it all starts with my house. Okay, now technically I do have a house, but yes, I'm renovating an area to make a new one. The idea is I want to have like a circular fence all the way around my house, mostly made up out of spruce, or maybe I'll actually put fences in between, I don't know yet. But it's all got to be level, because this is like the center point to the entire town that I want to create. And there was plenty of stuff sitting in our way, trees, dirt, bushes, you name it. So I spent the entire day just clearing out land to perfect our perfect circle. It looks something like this, and now I just have to place a house inside, not that I know what I want to go with or anything like that. A few pillars later, we at the very least had somewhat of a base plan. Now I just have to come up with a home that I did not plan on the spot. Now the next day I came up with a plan. Strip the logs. I don't like how they're looking right now. Then I went over to our rarely used wood farm to check it out. First off, it's growing fantastically, and second off, I need oak wood so I can, not have spruce everywhere. It's possible that I used spruce a little bit too much, so we're texturing here. I was only a few oak off from finishing the first level of the build, but I think it's looking good. Now you get my idea. And that's where decoration comes in. I want to have a really cool looking archway on every single side, and since we have vertical slabs in this video, it's looking great. I did this on every side, mostly because I like uniformity, but also because it genuinely adds a great level of detail to the build. Now for the roof, I want to do a mix of stone and brick. Two things I don't really have a ton of when looking through my storage. But with what I had, I tried to work out a roof idea. I really want it to go high, but also look more cottage barn-like. And I also wanted like a small window above the front door, so I added in a little bit more roof design here. But by nightfall, we had a pretty complete stone and cobblestone roof. Now I just want to fill this entire thing in with brick, when I do not have the resources for it. I did try though, don't knock me, alright? I did attempt to put in as much brick as I possibly could. But with the amount of stairs that this build was going to cost me, I just didn't have enough to make the full roof. Guess who's regretting the one furnace auto smelter now? That's right, it's this guy. I upgraded the setup. I couldn't just sit here forever, I had to make new ovens for the clay, man. It was going to take 4 years for this single furnace to do it all. But this did finally finish up the roof of our house. Now I just have to finish up walls and windows and decorations and pretty much everything else about the house, but this happens every time. So one of the reasons I went with this roof is because I want to have some sort of perch where I can put like a lantern or a clay pot with a flower or something like that, and I was trying to work out how I was going to do it, and I thought maybe this staircase right here would do, what I want. And I thought this row of staircases would do what I want. So I repeated it over on the other side, and now I can use this as a decorative area. But when it came to the walls, I had to go back and get some more oak. Now you are all happy and realize why I built this thing so early. Anyway, the walls are pretty basic, just gonna be some stripped oak, and then we'll add glass in here later. And I do realize a lot of you guys watch me for some building tips, and I'm gonna say this right now. This is probably my favorite one. Having alternating trapdoors as like a balcony piece or a way to cover something up is so amazing. I don't know why, but oak and spruce just look fantastic together, so of course I used it all around the build. But now comes the inside. I finished up all of the windows, and we have a very empty looking house to deal with. I don't know how we're gonna decorate the inside, but I'll tell you what, from the outside, it looks amazing. I love this place. The first thing I wanted to accomplish for decorating was the fence on the outside. However, I accidentally broke the entire thing. Apparently there was one leaf attached to all of that wood, and it thought it was a tree, so I have to rebuild it now. Now that we have it back up and running, the idea behind this fence is to actually have fence and walls in between some of these larger pillars of spruce that I'm making. I'll tell you what, it was also really hard to figure out some of these gaps, because fences can only be attached to fences, and then some don't attach to walls, and then fence gates attach to walls, but fences don't. I don't know why Minecraft did this to me. Anyway, I finished it up, and it's almost nighttime already. Yes, an entire day spent on a fence. But we still got more to do. I wanted to add in some areas in these archways to make them look better. Like having a couple potted plants, a lantern, maybe a sweetberry bush, just right outside our window. And of course, I did this around the entire house because it all needed decorating. But by basically the next morning, the house's exterior was done. I still have yet to do the inside though. Speaking of, we're still doing exterior work today, like putting in a path. Okay, I'm kidding. The main thing we're actually doing today is getting animals over on our property. Now, we're gonna set up 4 different fenced-in areas for sheep, chicken, cows, and pigs. And since this is a very easy operation, let me explain. I go out into the world and quickly grab a sheep, and then I sprint him all the way back home. Then I put him in his rightful pen where I will eventually add some grass. I do this over and over again until pens have 2 animals each that I can breed. And trust me, this was no walk in the park. Animals did not seem to spawn near my base, so it was a long walk. But by the end of the day, we had all of the chicken, pig, cow, sheep variants that we wanted. Okay, one more day of being outside, and I promise I will go in and fix up the interior. But right now, we gotta make a couple farms. I really have yet to do this, but if I want to build out like an area for all of my animals, they're gonna need the stuff they have to breed with. So I placed in 4 separate farms next to each animal pen where I planned on growing wheat, potatoes, carrots, and probably one of the extra things like cabbages or tomatoes. These are not the type of farms that I'm going to be planting elsewhere when I really get into my like Stardew/farming era. Those will be massive later on. This stuff was just small for the animals. But you're right, it's definitely time I go inside and start working on my interior so I can live here. Alright, first things first was changing out the floor in here. I don't want to live on dirt. But since I am running dangerously low on stone, we're going to use slabs and hope that this never comes back to bite us in the butt. And upstairs is just going to be straight up spruce planks, nothing fancy. Now the interior roof wasn't looking too hot, so I had to spice it up a little bit so it didn't, well, look this weird. Then I had to put in the staircase, which I decided to just plant in any random corner and hope that it works later on. And as for what I'm going to take to the new house, it's pretty much everything here. I want it all. The kitchen area in the new house has to be perfect. This is forever home territory now, okay? I'm going to be cooking up a ton here. And even though I don't have 2 stoves, I'm going to put another one right there in the middle. And of course, we're going to have all other types. Multiple areas for smokers, glass furnaces, and regular furnaces. I also came up with a pretty cool venting system for our stove location. We don't have a chimney in this place, but I figured it out pretty well. And last but not least, we had to add in some storage, mostly for seeds and any crops we get later on. But that was only the interior of the kitchen. I still have the upstairs to do, even though I did like how this turned out. I'm not kidding, day 29 wasn't very important. I mean, I did a little bit upstairs so that I could put chests around, have our storage sorted out for like the entire video. This is where a lot of the magic, quote unquote, is going to be happening. But just because I was kind of making it look decent up here doesn't mean there's one abhorrent task I still have to do. I have to move everything from the old house to the new one. Look at all this junk. I am not organizing this either. After putting the final touches upstairs with this amazing carpet design, you can't hate it. Don't hate on it. Look at this thing. This is awesome. I went back and forth between houses, taking whatever I could fit in my inventory and stashing it in the other. Basically, no organization needed. I did stick to it in the kitchen only because this is a vegetable and meat video. If I don't keep the food stocked and organized, I don't know what else I'm going to be making. But upstairs, I was absolutely just dumping stuff. However, to end up my day, I did look at some food options, and I really want to go for some of these soon. It's been a minute, just because I was building a lot. Day 30, the start of the hamburger hunt. It's the food I decided I wanted to make, but it requires one item, the tomato. Well, a lot of the stuff that I need requires a tomato, so we're gonna go find a tomato, because otherwise, I am not gonna be able to make a hamburger. I'm not gonna be able to make spaghetti. All right, we gotta go find a desert somewhere. So I guess we just, I guess we wander. Ooh. But before I could leave, I realized I really didn't have that much food on me. And even though we are journeying out to find tomato, that's not the only thing I can make. So after looking through all the meat options, I decided on a simple hamburger. We can probably just make some simple hamburgers for the go. That'd be best, I think. Actually, wait, all of our food products down here. And then basically this just combines the... Oh, wait. Hold on. This doesn't seem cuttable. Wait, what? Oh, it has to be raw. It's raw! Okay. Apparently it's too hard to cut already cooked meat, which is new for me, but all right, sure, sure, sure. And then now we combine these for some simple hamburgers on the go. Perfect. Okay. Cool. That's still a good amount of nourishment, so we should have plenty for a desert trip. All right, so my plan for the trip is to basically wander around looking for a plant that I don't recognize. There were a bunch of times where I thought I ended up finding it, but it was a different fruit. Oh, we found strawberries. All right, that's kind of cool. I was hoping that was tomatoes. I was lied to. And I'll tell you what, the hunt for a desert or savanna was not easy. The only trees I was finding in the distance were plain old oak or spruce. I love the guys, but someone retire these trees. I need a desert. Okay, does that look like a warm biome to you guys? Should I check for tomatoes up there? Probably not. So far, all I've seen is cold biomes, though. And I'm really, really far from home, so I don't know how much further I should go in one direction before I circle back. There were a couple times I saw the coastline and that maybe there were tomatoes, but it was always a sweet berry or beetroot, neither of which I want right now. But then I stumbled upon a structure that had a high chance of tomatoes. Hold on, maybe these guys have tomatoes. There's like a huge fleet of them out in the ocean. Surely they've got tomatoes on board, all right? Such a long voyage, you'd keep a fresh fruit on board. All right, sure. Yeah, we'll check anyway. They might have good loot. Looting it didn't go as well as I hoped. It had food, just not the kind that I wanted. Most of it was bread and apples, which I have plenty of back home. So I kept going, ocean ride after ocean ride, and I'll tell you what, the views in Terralith are stunning, okay? If you guys don't use this mod, you need to. Like, look, this is Minecraft. This is what the game's all about. I love it, okay? I really kind of wish I built around here so I could see this every day. But anyway, on to the next structure I found. Oh, hey, maybe this guy has tomatoes. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, wait, they might. Excuse me, sir. So this is just a thing of cabbages, right? That's what this is? So like, if I take this, oh yeah, we just get a bunch of cabbages from it. Spectacular. All right, we got some cabbages. What else you got? You got a... Oh, are these... Oh, please. No, these are carrots, aren't they? Watch. These are going to be carrots. No, you absolute... Ah, poo. They could have been tomatoes. Now, do I go check that house up there? I feel like I probably shouldn't. I don't know. I want to adventure, but I'm also... The reason I'm out here is for tomatoes, and if I just can't... I can't find them, then what's the point of going up there for it? Like, it's going to have it. Well, now, this is an entire town. And I've already looted one before, and I know y'all don't have any tomatoes, so you guys don't even have anything. What in the heck? They are not gonna have tomatoes, but I guess, you know what? We just go through and we check anyway, because why not? I gave up looking around here pretty quickly until I realized I'm a bit of an idiot. Wait. Is this the one by my house? Did I just do a complete loop? Oh my goodness, I did. I just did a complete... We're home. I mean, I was honestly worried that I'd never find it again. But like... my house is right over there. Oh my goodness, how did I do a complete loop? That's insane. I never thought I'd be able to do that in my life, but unironically, I'm the best, I think. Have potatoes. I mean tomatoes. I mean, I give up. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna go find them. Further out into the ocean distance, I found so much coastline that just wasn't desert. I was beginning to think that tomatoes weren't even possible. And then I found another one of those cool structures that I thought had tomatoes. You just see all the possibility for a desert that there is here, and I'm just not getting it. Like, there's so much sand. This could just be classified as a desert, and it's not. There's no tomatoes anywhere. This is infuriating. Truly. Truly Oh man. Hold on. Oh, those are beetroot, aren't they? Oh, I am gonna throw hands. I'm gonna throw so many hands. You will not like me. Those are all beetroot. Oh. Oh my gosh. Beetroot is my new enemy, but when strolling upon another spruce village, I swear it's only cold biomes. Off in the distance, my eyes clipped an acacia tree. Oh, please, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I literally just, for a fraction of a second, saw... Hold on, what are these? So apparently this village has tomatoes. As I find Savannah. Now, I guess I can head home. Not that I know where that is or anything. Man, what a find, though. I was like, oh, cool, I can go to the savannah and get tomatoes. And I was like, what that? And then the tomato. And now I'm sad. I don't know if you could tell in my voice or not, but I was pretty defeated when I found those tomatoes. I was actually really excited about that warm biome that I didn't even go to because I found it in a village. Later on, I even find tomatoes in a village about 4 blocks away from my house too. So all in all, a great trip. I'm glad we have them now. So while the tomatoes are growing, I need enchants at our base. Something I didn't think about. You know what? I didn't think about where the enchant table was gonna go. Would it be insane to hang it from the ceiling? You know what? I'm gonna do it. So to do the weird thing I'm about to do, I made some chains and then just hung the enchant table from the ceiling. I don't know, has anyone ever done this? I find it quite strange. However, the hard part is bookshelves, because I don't exactly know which ones are going to reach the enchant table. Plus, there were some I still had to hang from the ceiling, but after some trial and error, I got it very close to level 30. Okay, 28, that's really close. I want to keep this as open as possible. I don't think this is working. If I get rid of that, what is that? Still 28. If I get rid of this, still 28. Okay, yeah, this bottom doesn't work at all. Boom. Floating enchant table, that's so dumb. All right, I think the only way I'm gonna make this semi-believable is if I put a couple, like, trap doors around to make this look a little bit more normal. A little bit, okay, not much, just a tinge. I want to do like this, and that. Okay, there. I feel like that makes it a little bit more manageable. Is this insane? Yeah, but like I really need enchants, so I'm just not gonna worry about it. All right, now that we have an enchant table, it was almost time to use it, except I don't have the tools that I want to enchant, so I have to go make those. For one, my spruce trees kinda grew together, and I can't break all of them down at once, so I had to fix that. But once I did, I was getting plenty of wood to trade away for levels. But that was actually only a benefit, because I really needed the emeralds since I was gonna make one of these villagers into a toolsmith. With this, I should be able to get diamond tools, hopefully trade for like a legendary one, and then enchant that. He did spend the entire night refusing the job though, so it was kind of annoying. Day 35, he actually took the job so I could start trading with him. Okay, an efficiency 3 iron pickaxe is actually very good, especially if we get it in something not common. All right, you know what? I don't know why I speak words. I shouldn't. It's a bad idea. But then I had to get him up to the expert tier for the diamond tools. All right, diamond axe. Ooh, a really good diamond shovel too. That's fantastic. All right, what do we got? Common, common, uncommon, rare. Okay. Well, you win some, you lose some. But this is decent. You know, I could combine these maybe, get a, oh man, I don't know. I decided to buy more of the tools and then combine them to hopefully get a better one. I decided to buy more of the tools and then combine them to hopefully get better ones. I didn't really need the enchants on them anyway. I was just hoping for epic and above. I didn't really get it, but that's all right. I never do. That was all until the pickaxe. Aha! There we go. Finally, we got an epic one. Okay. That I can work with. I can work with a rare too. All right, we'll work with these rares for now. We'll leave emeralds and sticks and everything here, and we'll come back. Because man, oh man, do I want better tools. All right, what do we got? Efficiency 4. Efficiency 4. Efficiency 4. Probably a best efficiency 4 on the shovel. Okay. Efficiency 4. Breaking through pickaxe. Fortune 3 axe. I don't like that very much. Reroll that. I kind of want to reroll the shovel, to be honest, as well. All right, what do we got on this? Efficiency 4. Efficiency 4. Unbreaking. Perfect. That's what we need. Unbreaking. Perfect. The axe doesn't need efficiency because it already chops down all the tree at once. And the shovel needed unbreaking because of all the ground we're probably going to have to cover. All right, we've got some good tools now. Oh, and the glitch is still there. Yes, that is apparently A diamond tool. If you end up playing the mod pack and figure out what that is, let me know. I probably won't fix it, but just let me know. The rest of the day, I did chores, so that was cool. Now that we have these tools, I think it's time we get to farming, actually. Because I want to make some sick stuff, but I just don't have the resources grown yet. Oh, I definitely don't even have the bone meal to grow some of the resources. Tomatoes. So I think our best bet for now, if we want to actually get some of these awesome foods, is to probably make real farms. I mean, these are little, these are for the house. These are mostly for the animals. We've got the wheat for the sheep and seeds for the chickens over here. But out here, I want to do like actual farms. I don't know where to begin with this idea, but we should probably start some. I mean, realistically, we need a couple farms. Maybe like here. Maybe we just move this hill around, I guess. If I sound indecisive, it's because I am. But first things first, a good old deforestation, okay? You can't go wrong with that. Once I got rid of the trees, it was of course time for the natural landscape to disappear. And since I want my house to be a complete centerpiece, I also want the pathway to be straight from it, leading all the way out to our river view. All right, it's probably really silly to have like one pathway around the entire area, but we can smooth out the land later. So I'm thinking we have this one path and then some farms along it, like on this side, and maybe we do the actual builds on this side, because I want to have a bakery, I want to have a sushi shop, I want to have like a rice field area, I want to have a brewery, I want to have all of it. All right, I am greedy. Okay, so maybe I yap a little bit, but back to work. I cut out the landscape so I could plant these farms that I wanted to place, and then got to work on the plan for them. I want each of them to be outlined by stone, and since I don't have a lot of it, I already made it into slabs as not to waste blocks. Then we got to hoeing the traditional 9x9 farm. However, I thought there'd be an easier way to do it. You know, this is a farm. Can we make like a plow or something? Is that even in this? Oh, wait, it is. Wait, I can make a plow? Okay, hold on. We're gonna make a plow. That might make this a little bit easier, especially with all the coarse dirt around. It's really obnoxious if you're asking me. So wait, we need 2 wheels. We need planks like this, sticks like this, and wheels. All right, sick. Now we have a plow. How do I use this thing? Okay, wait, I need to put more hose in it, but like, how do I move it around? This pause is not because I'm on Google right now trying to figure out how to use the plow. I'm also not eating a cucumber while voiceovering. It tastes pretty good though. Okay, I've determined you need a horse, I think. How do I get a horse? I need a saddle, I guess, right? Like saddle. Can I make this? Nope, definitely cannot make it. Oh, I can get it from a leather worker though. Okay, we can try that, I guess. That may be our next goal. And the only village nearby that actually has a villager free of trade is decently far from the house, but as long as I can get a saddle from it, that's okay. Aw, man, okay. I really can't trade with him again. Oh no, we're gonna have to go get some flint, I guess. That's like the only way I can think of trading with it. Why was I worried? Why was I worried? You know the guy who generates every Minecraft world for us? I thank him for this giant gravel mound. Now I have a weird feeling I'm never gonna need this much gravel, but it'll at least get him. Oh man, it's not gonna get him to the, oh no, I need more. What, I'll just trade for this stuff. And it's leather horse armor. I mean, I guess I think I can turn this into leather. It's not that big a deal. Can you give me a saddle, though? That's really what I need. Is it the last trade you give me a saddle? Yes! Okay, awesome. Great work. Okay, I don't need any of those. We'll take one of them with us for a horse. Let's go find us a horsey after raiding the village. I'm pretty sure on the way here, I saw a horse, so I'm gonna try and grab that guy. Hello, Mr. Flufferson. Be my horse. Just, oh my goodness gracious, why are you glitching out on me? I swear he kept trying to throw me in the gorge next to us instead of, you know, be my friend and all, but eventually he was. And newly equipped with a really fast horse, I might add, I now have to figure out how to attach the plow. This is not me once again Googling. Or eating a cucumber. We have the cart attached to him and we, right click it so it's down? And then we drag it through. Oh! Look at that! We can just drag it through and then, oh, all right, sick. With the new plow invention, I finished off our first farm. I don't exactly know what I want to plant here, considering it's only one of the 9 farms I'm gonna make, but my brain thought, why not everything? There's no point in not putting every seed we have here. I only have like 2 of each and the farm's big enough. Plus it'll allow me to figure out what other vegetables I want to grow in the other farms. Now that we've got the farm figured out, I want to do some fun with food stuff. I know I already have 41 burgers and all, but the whole point of the video is to make some awesome foods. I kind of want to do some sushi stuff, just a little bit. I think there's like this rice roll medley pretty much has everything we want. We do some kelp rolls. That would be fun. So we need cooked rice, dried kelp, and carrot. That is actually incredibly easy. We have dried kelp, we have carrot, and we have some rice. I really need more rice though. How do I get bone meal fast? The nether. Ooh, wait a minute. What if we go to the nether real quick? It can't be that bad. It can be. Surely I'll be able to find some bone meal quickly so that I can get a bunch of rice, tomatoes. It's so much easier than like waiting for stuff to grow. I mean, I know the whole point of the video is farming and whatnot, but like who needs to do that? Okay, I said we were gonna do some farming stuff and cooking, and we will. I just really need bone meal for rice and tomatoes. I was also hoping that when I entered the nether, it would lead straight into a soul sand biome. It did not. Not even close. Seriously? No soul sand biome in sight. You've got to be, this is not real. I mined through like half of the nether just to find a soul sand area, and it was really small when I found it. Woohoo! Hot tourist destination! That is right, it is very hot here. This is called the nether. I don't actually need a ton of this stuff, so like if this is literally all there is, I'm just gonna dip, but I might be able to find more. I'm hopeful that I can find more. Being able to grow a ton of crops is super useful, especially for this video idea. But I see the thing is I already don't see a lot of this biome. I was able to find another fossil and then just decided to go home because there was no way I was finding another one. But that does mean I can now grow the rice I want. Now, how do I make that kelp roll again? We need rice, carrot. Okay, so we need cooked rice, which, this thing, right? So we put rice in here, and then we need bowls. Do I have bowls? All right, there. So I take kelp, rice, carrot, kelp roll. Oh, we get the bowls back, so we can put them back. And then if we put the kelp on the cutting board, take the knife, kelp, boom. Now we have 3 kelp roll. Okay, that's sick. What else can we make? So we have the kelp roll, we have the cod roll, and we have the salmon roll, which is just fish cut up. You get bone meal from fish? I would have done this so long ago. Are you kidding me? Perfect, cut those up. And then I also want to make rice and salmon rolls. All right, we got salmon rolls. We got pretty much everything we need right now. Oh, hold on, we got a whole sushi thing going on. Wait, how do I make that plate actually? Okay, so it's just this, and then this, and then this, boom. Oh my goodness, we have so many rice medley roll things. This is so cool. I also figured out another recipe with cod, potatoes, and tomatoes. It's like a whole stew thing. Shockingly, it's even better than the meat and potatoes meal we made earlier. There we go. Okay, yeah. These are gonna be awesome. This provides 11 food bars. 11. That is crazy. Look how much food we have right now. We are swimming in food, which is good because a lot of it's made of fish. So, D40, I have 2 things on the brain. One is a little bit more food because I'm really loving these Farmer's Delight mods. But the second is later on I want to grab a villager and get some better iron armor, you know, like legendary stuff. However, on the food front, I did craft a bunch more of those rice and meat meals. All right, so we just did a lot here. We've got simple hamburgers, steak and potatoes, which does quite a bit, the kelp roll slice, the salmon roll, and the cod roll, which by the way, I'm a very big sushi lover, so I love these. And then we have the baked cod stew, which does even more than these. So we have like, I genuinely don't think we would need more food for the rest of the series. Like, that's not what this is about. This whole thing is about collecting food. Like, that's the cool part. Like, we want to go up here and we're just going to want to shove so much food that we will never have to eat again. It'd be so cool to have food in our cabinets. Before going for armor, I wanted to also make a cabbage roll, which is apparently another thing, sushi-ish. It's not really sushi related. It's probably some sort of Asian, but I definitely wanted to add it to our food collection. And now that I've got plenty of food, I wanted to head over to the adjacent village and find a free villager. All of the ones here had jobs, which means I had to go find a new villager. So I went to go take one from this lighthouse. I'm sure he's gonna love living in my house rent-free in a 1x1 hole. Alright, you stay there for now. I, however, am going to bed. Alright, now that Gerald is here, I now have to trade with him for better armor. Obviously, we're trading him up so that we can get to diamond armor, but we have to start with iron, which can be good though. If we get good pieces, then we can probably make a legendary set of iron like I did in my island video. And since I enjoyed it so much, we're probably gonna do it again. Although, side benefit, one thing I didn't expect was to have to trade for shields, which I could use to boost my max health. Thank you, Epic Shield. And eventually I got to the diamond armor trades, both of them being uncommon, and of course the ones following not being legendary. They're kind of epic though. That's something. Well, the best stuff that we got was a legendary iron helmet, which is crazy for the 4 max health. We got a really good pair of epic leggings, some epic diamond boots, and rare. Honestly, I don't care about rare. I only want epic and legendary. So yeah, that's not gonna matter to me. Which means we only have 1 diamond piece at the moment. I'm wondering if I do go for another legendary iron set before a diamond. It's not necessary. I don't need it. But like, I really enjoyed wearing iron for once in my last video that I did like this, so I might consider doing that. I could beat a dragon in iron armor as well. There's no issue with that. I think diamonds for way later on. The revelation that I was gonna go for a full set of either epic or legendary iron armor set me on a wild goose chase to waste all of my materials on that. But hey, that's what we call fun around here. When I did get a full set of epic / legendary, I of course wanted to enchant it. But since it is iron, we're pretty much going for only unbreaking on this stuff, and I wasn't getting very lucky. I mean, the helmet had fire prot on it, the pants were pretty good as it had prop 4, but the boots didn't have unbreaking and the chest plate wasn't agreeing with me. So for levels, I went back to the tree farm, as it's the only way I get to trade with the villagers. But that didn't exactly fix my enchanting problem, as my luck is awful. Since we just lost out on a lot of iron doing what we just did, and I need XP and the villagers haven't reset, we're gonna go mining! I also decided to enchant a pickaxe with Silk Touch so that I could gather the ores and get Fortune 3 when I come back. Of course, iron is the main thing that I'm going for, mostly because I just sacrificed all of it on armor, but diamonds are never too far off. I really don't know how to make mining sound more fun than it is, but I do really like it. It's like a home away from home kind of, because always I'm building or farming or whatever in this video, but mining is just, it's a nice step. Sometimes mobs try and kill me down here, and I haven't seen one on the surface in like 40 days. But we also find some fantastic things down here. A bomb? I mean, I'm never gonna say no to an explosive if you just hand it to me, right? Let's test out what this puppy can do. Hello, Mr. Creeper. Normally you blow up. I blow up this time. Oh, ha, ha, it works. Epic. I need more. But since I've summed up mining already, let's just go home. Home sweet home. Glad to be back, to be honest. Very glad to be back. All right, now let's make another pickaxe and get to cracking on Fortune 3, baby, because we got so many ores. Look at all this stuff. I cannot wait to see what we have by the end of this. However, that meant I did have to make a decent diamond pickaxe to put Fortune on. I have a love-hate relationship with this tier system, man, because I really, really enjoy using it, just because it prevents me from getting awesome stuff right out the gate. But the reason I don't like it is because it prevents me from getting really awesome stuff right out the gate. Dang it! There we go. That's what we want to see, baby. Fortune 3. And with that, I was able to spend the rest of the night placing down all of our ores and then breaking them. We got so much stuff in 40 minutes. I am now the proud owner of almost 3 stacks of diamonds. Day 44 was basic chore day. I started by updating some of my iron armor to make it better, and then trading with the villagers for more XP, and of course trying to get better diamond armor that isn't just all common. And one thing I really did forget about was all of the plants around the base. I haven't harvested them in quite a while, and I also haven't been feeding my animals, which I probably shouldn't say that out loud. But the day wasn't all bad. We basically have a full set of epic diamond armor, if I want to go with that. I don't. I really want legendary. Day 45, I got back to extending my farm a little bit. And in doing so, I realized I didn't love the shape of the river, so I had to terraform a little bit. But for the farm, I followed the exact same recipe for the first one. A simple 9x9 outlined by stone with water in the center. And now we have 1/3 of these farms completed. Moving on, I got back to trading because I needed XP to max out my armor. Every time I reached level 30, I'd come back home to try and get a new good enchant. Again, we're going for unbreaking, and that's not what I'm getting. Oh, I also continued to buy armor and tools from our armorsmith and toolsmith villagers to see if I could roll any legendaries. Spoiler alert, it never happens. Alright, there we go. Finally a max set of iron that I'm okay with, because it all has unbreaking 3. That is the main thing we needed. This is the only piece without protection 4, so that is fine by me. I would add my feather falling 3 to this, but like, it is iron, so I don't think I truly need it. I'll save that for when I have the maxed out diamond set, which will probably happen eventually. We've already got 2 of the pieces, and we have maxed out bows and shields now, which are 2 items I didn't think I'd actually want or ever use, but hey, we got them in legendary, so why not? Now, to finish off the day, I had to remember how to plow the fields, which is honestly just such a fun and easy task. I mean, it's not exactly as precise as you'd want it to be, but it's a lot more fun than just right-clicking. Speaking of right-clicking, with the farms in place, everything needs a path. So we want a straight shot to the house, because the house is just the centerpiece of everything. Like, everything starts here. Ignore the one up there. Everything starts there, so we're going to have the pathway that goes straight down, and I really like the path that we have there, which is coarse dirt, path block, and gravel, so we'll keep that the whole way, and I think we'll just honk a left here and go all the way over to our wood farm, which should connect pretty easily to this path. This is probably the first path that'll kind of wave around a little bit, and we might replace some of the blocks in it, but maybe not, just because we're gonna have a bridge here, so the difference of path block, gravel, and coarse dirt over there isn't gonna be too heavy over here. But I do want to make the bridge completely out of oak, so that's why I've headed over to the farm. After chopping down all of my oak and getting enough wood, I started on our little bridge. Now, right off the bat, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to use spruce or oak for most of it. Normally when I do builds like this, I main spruce, but the path block happens to be very close to oak wood, so we're rolling with that for this one. And since we normally use a lot of campfires, that matched as well. The hard thing about bridges, though, is height variation. I'm always unsure about the angle I want the bridge to go up at, and since we use campfires, it always makes it a little bit harder. Alright, I think that's pretty gradual. I don't hate it. I do think we should add in a couple of supports here, though, just because that height difference is a little wonky. But if we add in these logs, it'll look a lot better. Oh yeah, much nicer. Okay, cool. And then we'll top it off with these spruce slabs because it matches the unstripped oak better than the actual oak itself does. Now, what do I want to do for the railing? Normally, I just stick to, like, doing some weird something. This obviously isn't it. But what I could do is maybe, like that. You know, it looks weird, but it is very... not really a railing, but it kind of works. Whatever. It's not like anyone's actually going to be falling off of this bridge. So I realistically stuck with it just looking good. And if I do say so myself, adding these walls topped it off. Look at that. We got ourselves a bridge. Afterwards came the process of right-clicking a billion times all the way to said bridge, and then mining out a design for coarse dirt and gravel. Do you find this stuff fun? I did at the time. I'm actually very much so enjoying myself. And now that we have more area to work with, I wanted to make, hear me out, a sushi bar. Yeah, I may have gotten a little too caught up on the sushi rolls I made earlier, but that's alright. Because what village out in the middle of nowhere doesn't have a sushi bar? And with our oceanfront view, this place is going to look fantastic. This idea probably looks insane to everybody but me. Maybe because they've seen what a sushi shop looks like, and I have not. You know what? That could be what it is. Anyway, back to building. Anyway, back to work. Before I finished my day, I wanted to put a roof on this building, mostly because I'm slightly excited for the design. It may seem incredibly simple, but it really tied the build together, especially the use of deep slate. I still have a lot to finish off in the next coming days, but it's looking good. I mean, I like it. It is really weird, but I very much so like that. Now, we gotta enclose the outside, add in our, like, salmon and cod farms over here. Maybe put some seating, because I guess maybe we can make this a restaurant and then have the interior where we actually have the cooking and whatnot going on. But we don't really have the resources for all of that right now, so we'll probably have to just say, you know, it's good. The next day, the front wall was really bothering me, mostly because it's not going to be an entrance, and when I think of a Japanese build, I don't exactly think of glass. So I tried different ways to come up with walls, either using fences, stairs, half slabs, vertical slabs, whatever you name it, I did it. And that's when my brilliance came up with trap doors. Yeah, that's right. For some reason, we're doing that now. But I don't think I got the exact desired effect that I wanted. All right, see, that looks better. And then what I'm also thinking is we take the middle ones out and we use oak trapdoors instead so that they are acting as windows, which does mean I have to go get them, but it'll look good. After switching out for oak trapdoors, I also added in a couple walls and fences so we could add a lot more depth to this wall. Plus, if I grab some leaves, I can probably make it look even better. And now for the inside. If you thought I had no idea what the outside of a sushi shop looks like, you'll be shocked because I don't know what the inside looks like either. I really wanted some weird, like, circular murals as the windows for the side, because again, I'm not a fan of using glass in this build. But that also made the entrance look a little weird, and I wasn't exactly in love with it. Oh, that's so cool! Because of half slabs, we can make these doorways look incredibly weird because they're like 1.5 blocks, but it doesn't feel off. It just really is. Taking our attention away from the inside for a little bit, I wanted to work on the fencing of the outside because this is technically a deck and I still want people to be able to enjoy dining out here. Plus, on the outside here, I'm still gonna have to make a fish farm, which I don't actually think is possible in Minecraft. You can't really breed salmon or cod, but you can capture them. So I tried to build a semi-fenced-in area out in the water, one that really wouldn't draw any attention to it, mostly because it's still made out of spruce. Everything in this build is made out of spruce, and no, it's not starting to annoy me, but it really is. And after replacing about 300 billion fences, we had a cage. Okay, now all I have to do is grab salmon, like this, and then throw them in here. And I think that's all I have to do. Okay, so I lied. That is not all I have to do. I actually... Wow, I didn't expect that one. Okay then. Salmon are quite a lot smarter than I am. So let's fence this in a little bit. All right, little secret in this build, I may be adding some fish to it, but within the next, what, 50 days we have left or something like that? All of them are gonna leave. All of them jump over my little weird trapdoor oak thing that I put up and just escape. It's okay, the sushi shop doesn't actually need to have the fish on site considering we are on location. Now, we've been on this build for like 3 days already, so I'm gonna speed this up. I finished up the interior by adding in like the stoves, furnaces, crafting table, whatever we're gonna actually need in here. I probably won't use it. Again, this is just an on-site sushi shop to make the village look better. But then came the balcony and seating arrangements, the main thing that's gonna make this place pop. And since I've used so much spruce, I wanted to opt for an oak table design, but I really hated the first one I came up with. Oh, I also may have caved incredibly hard for the glass windows. I kinda liked it better than the trapdoors. Back to the balcony, I flipped through all 71 pages to find a new block. A bench. And what better way to make a table than have a stripped oak log with some benches. Trust me, it looks way better than the design I had planned. And the decorations on the tables actually look good because oak and green go together. But that is our sushi shop. Well, there was one final thing. I took all of the sushi rolls that we had made previously and turned it into a couple of the rice roll medley platters so that we could display them in the shop. Now, there was something that I have been neglecting this entire time, and that has been our farmland. I 100% forgot that I have to collect this stuff and extend out the farms. So after putting all of our junk away, it's not really junk, it's mostly vegetables, I got to work on flattening out the land for a couple more farms. I've mentioned this before, I want this entire area to be 9 farms, or a 3x3, and this land was pretty much the only thing blocking my path. But with it gone, I was able to use stone to outline our second batch of farms. This also allowed me to visualize our path between the farms, sushi shop, and lumberyard. Oh, and my daily chore of buying diamond armor until I get every piece legendary still exists. There we go. Legendary pantaloons, fantastic. Wait, we could get better ones. I lied, we could never get better ones. Now, 2 commons equal a legendary. I lied again. Dang it. We are 1 away from having maxed out diamond. I'm excited for that. However, I already like the iron that we've got, so I don't really care too much. Look at the health bar that I've got right now. How did you get here? Hey, stay back. I didn't say you could come in. Before bed, I came out here for a reason, and that was to plow our fields. I completely forgot that this needed to happen, but it's a really fun process, so who says no to this? I'm really liking how the town is looking. I mean, we've got our house, we've got some farms going, we got the tree chopping. To be honest, I kind of didn't want to chop down all of these trees. I mean, the trees in this area look fantastic. We do have our own area for it now, so I'm not too worried. Plus, I can probably rebuild these since they're not sapling trees, but I'm sure I can figure it out. And then we have our sushi bar over here, which is fantastic. You know, we got our little sushi place. We can actually sit here, which is very cool. Now I just have to learn how to cook it, which probably don't have to do because I already put it in here, which is fantastic. But I do need to go trade for some more tools because all of these are basically rare. And I don't want rare tools. The emeralds I'm investing into this daily chore are starting to stack up. We actually got a better tool. We got the legendary diamond shovel. Finally. That took way too long. Unfortunately, that was the only legendary item I was able to get today. I did roll an epic axe, but we're really sticking to legendary. Oh, and when I returned to the farm work, I decided to look at the 9 farms we were gonna have here and figure out what was gonna be planted in them. But that is all right. I think corn should probably be right back here. The reason I'm gonna put it here is specifically because when I look at the town, I want like the taller items in the back. So corn will definitely go back there. However, we have a lot more than 9 crops, so figuring out which ones are essential for cooking was the next goal. All right, after looking through a bunch of these recipes, 90% of the time we are using carrots, potato, onions, tomatoes, and cabbage. Those are like the main things we are using. So those are the farms that we're gonna have. Other than that, I don't really know. We'll just sprinkle in some stuff because all of this is just random items. I don't really know how much we're gonna need of like barley and strawberries and peppers. So next to the house, we have our carrots being planted down. And then directly in the middle goes the wheat seeds. The bottom row in that column will be the tomato seeds. Then we do onions in the bottom left corner, and finishing off these 6 farms with the potatoes. All right, there we go. That's all of our farms done. We've only got 6 at the moment, but we should add in a few more. I'm thinking we need the cabbages, maybe over there. And then I can't think of another item that we can use that would do as well as any of those. Like realistically, I don't think there's another crop that'll just be used as much. Oh, you know what? I think it'd be cool to do rice, but I think we should have our own like area for that. And I say that because we have our own Japanese building, all right? We may as well do rice like over there or something next to the water, because if I'm not mistaken, Japanese rice fields start at the top of a very big hill and they just kind of slope down, and they're full of water because rice grows in water, and it just slopes down and then they harvest it. First off, very peaceful lifestyle in my eyes at the very least, probably because I'm American, but I think it would be nice to put it over there next to our already rampant water source. So we'll do that instead of putting it here. That's a lot of talk for someone who didn't figure out what the farms... That's a lot of talk for somebody who didn't figure out what the final farms were gonna be. I did outline them though before I went to bed. I finished off the design and the plowing the next day, but I still didn't know what I wanted to plant here. Cabbages were kind of a duh because they're used in everything. And then we used the lesser known lettuce because it's mostly used in burgers, but I kind of want some, so yeah, we'll do that. And lastly came barley, which does happen to be in the beer we can make, but I doubt we'll ever get that far. Now on to making sure that this isn't just a really ugly cliff face. Like, holy cow, I gotta blend this area. Terraforming took most of the day because we had really drilled into the landscape. But by the end of the day, I think we had a very consistently smooth terrain. Well, other than the left side of our path, that's still a dirt wall. We start the next day off strong with our daily chores. Ooh! Legendary axe. There we go. So we get durability, speed, and dig speed. Honestly, I like that because it takes a long time to chop down these big old trees. I then wanted to test out the axe. Just kidding, we're using our old axe, but I did want to harvest some wood so I could trade it in for more emeralds since the daily chores are taking a lot of those from us. I traded all that up for a small fortune, if I do say so myself, and I wanted to use the levels from that to enchant our legendary axe, but we were a couple short. So we're heading into hell for some quartz. It's not the nicest mining method, but it's honestly been more than months since I've mined some quartz, so it's time. I spent the entire day getting all the way up to level 44, so we would have plenty of chances to get a really good axe. Back home, my first attempt was pretty awful, being efficiency 3, and then right after only getting normal efficiency, which is, you know, fine enough, since we can just combine that with our previous axe. There we go! Legendary chest plate, baby! That means we have a full legendary set of diamond. I just finished getting, like, basically a full set of legendary diamond tools, and now I have the armor. Should I make the armor? I don't know if I should. I've already got, like, really good iron, so there's not really a point. But I kind of, when I have a task, I have to finish that task. So I don't know if I should start building something else, like the rice fields I talked about, or just go straight for the diamond armor now. I have no idea what I want to do. Someone help me decide, please. Turns out rice field was the project I was getting into. Now, I'm going to use a replay because I had no idea what I was doing throughout this entire process. I didn't look up any images. I purely just went on memory from maybe one time seeing it in an anime. So the idea was to have 3 different tent-like structures made out of mud and moss, which will be the homes for the rice field workers. And then the rice fields are going to be in these little ponds that slope down towards the river. Now, do I know if this is accurate? No, not at all. Do I think it looks good? Yeah, absolutely. I think it turned out pretty well, especially for someone who has no idea what he's doing. However, I did not have the rice to cover these fields, so throughout the next 50 days, hopefully, it'll all grow in and fill out. All right, I think this is how Japanese rice fields kind of look. I'm not an expert, mostly because I'm American. And then these buildings here, I'm gonna kind of make like moss mud like tents, I guess. Probably because they're easy to build, first off, not in Minecraft, most likely, because these resources are hard to get, but in real life, they would be easy to make, and I think they'd probably look really nice here. I don't know if they're practical or even used. I really only looked at images of this, and I think this is good, so it's fine. But there's plenty more to decorate because, well, none of the rice is grown, which means it looks pretty bad, but I gotta make sure that it doesn't look bad forever, so yeah, we'll work on that another day. Now, at the start of the day, I wanted to go find some moss so I could finish off the tents at the top of the rice fields. However, I realized how much of a journey it's gonna be to search the world for the singular tree that looks like it's above rooted dirt, which means it's above moss. So I came up with a completely different plan of buying bows and arrows from my villagers. Okay, I know that sounds completely weird, but hear me out. We're gonna use these bows to make a decent bow and then go and fight the Ender Dragon. That's right, we're going to the end. The simplest of reasons on why I want to gear up and go to the end now is I need a flying machine. I need the elytra to go search for this singular tree for moss. Is it the smartest idea to want to go to the nether just because of a singular block? No, but my plans never consist of brilliance, so it's fine. After harvesting a bunch of endermen that just kept teleporting away from me, I kinda got sick of this job and wanted to trade with a piglin. He was less than willing to do this job, but it's not like I had to be here too long. We only need a few ender pearls. After that fun time, I basically used all of my blocks that were wood, by the way, to bridge over a lava ocean. I did that so I could get closer to a nether fortress, which was still pretty far away. Aboard the lands of the blaze, I got attacked by a billion jillion things. I dropped down into what I can only explain as Vietnam. Look at all these men trying to kill me. All I want to do is eat my steak and potatoes in peace, boys. Eventually, I made it to the blaze spawner, of which I blocked off and started grinding. I was going to leave once I hit 9 blaze rods. That always feels like a safe number, especially if I want to go for potions or something. But with everything we needed collected, the only thing I had left to do was find the stronghold. I threw my first eye starting from base camp the next day, going in this direction. I don't have a compass open. All I do know is that we're off and headed towards the end. A few eye throws later, I was able to backtrack, pinpointing the location to around here. Now I just have to dig down and hopefully find the thing. As they say, Geronimo, we are here. Now I just have to find the portal. Along the way, I was actually blessed to find a couple of cool things before I got into a new dimension. Ooh, increased damage dealt by the wearer. I mean, yeah, why not? What slot is this going in? Glove? Where's the glove slot? Oh, there we go. Perfect. That small item will genuinely make this game so much easier. With a maxed out sword, I could probably one-hit mobs. But right now, we are focused on this bad boy. No, not the silverfish, but the fact that we found the portal. I may only have iron armor and a diamond axe, but I am ready for battle. Now, I completely forgot to add in a very cool end mod for this video, so it's literally just the dragon. I don't know how many times y'all have fought the dragon, but I'm somewhere in the hundreds, and it's the same thing every time. Breaking the last crystal, she was perched, but we all know how easy that is to deal with, except for when she flings you. Woohoo! Been a while since I've fought a feisty dragon. Then it was just pelting her with arrows until I could get the heck out of there and go for an elytra. And bye-bye. Alright. That's always easier with time. Alright, now I need the dragon egg. So let's make a quick little slab. Perfect. Oh, beautiful XP. I love XP so much. Alright, dragon egg acquired, baby. Not that I really need it, but, you know, I guess I can make it a decorative piece. And to the outer end we go. I love it when the end makes it easy. We got a ship right there, beautiful end city. I can get maybe a shulker or 2 out of this place. And then go home, not have to worry about any... Never mind, there's a giant gorge in the way. Alright. Lucky me, there was a giant gorge in my way. Thankfully, we always bring spruce. So, purling over took no time at all, almost falling off a couple of times. But I headed my way up so we could float over to the ship. The main reason I'm here. Actually, the only reason I'm here. Boom. Oh, are you kidding me? Common elytra? I forgot about this. Oh, I didn't bring anywhere close. I didn't bring anything for fireworks. And especially not enough to go hunting for more of these things. Ah, man, this is gonna suck. Now, thankfully, there was another end city very close by, so there was a chance I could get a legendary and get the heck out of here. All right, please, just legendary on our second try, or epic. I will take an epic elytra, okay? Just not rare or any... Oh, dear Lord. That is definitely not what we want to see. Oh, man. Now, I have very minimal fireworks being here in the end. I did not think that, elytras were gonna have rarity to them, or I forgot, but we have to deal with it now. So with what I had on me, I tried to go to every ship possible, praying that I would get an epic or above elytra. That is the goal. I'm not trying to leave the end without it. But since I didn't plan ahead and basically had no fireworks, I was just walking aimlessly in an empty dimension. So I thought it best to at the very least settle on a rare elytra and head home. Oh, rare. The speed kind of sucks, but rare isn't that bad. Now, I'm going to put these two together, see what I get. Common. Okay. That's fine. Honestly, I will take a rare and get the heck out of here. I'll come back if I need a better one in the future. But holy cow. Now, please tell me there's a way out of here somewhere close by. Oh, perfect. Aha! I made it back. Back from the end, I set up my patent-pending egg lamp tech. Basically, you use some quartz to make a lampshade, and then the egg looks like, you know, the bottom of a lamp. Whatever, it looks cool. Stole it from a YouTuber a couple years ago. I never give him credit anymore. It's great. Then I emptied out my inventory of a bunch of stuff that I won't be needing currently because we have a major goal. We need to get gunpowder, and to do that, I need a looting 3 sword. Unfortunately, mine had smite on it, and instead of being a smart person and getting a sharpness legendary sword later on, since this happened to be the legendary one, I just grindstoned it, tried to get a new enchant, ran out of lapis, and that's what started the next few days. I'm headed back to the stronghold. That's right, there was a giant cave in that place, and I'm gonna go find it. Hopefully, there will be lapis there. I remember there being a massive cave underneath, or like right next to the portal. What was it? The end portal or whatever? So I think if I go over here, this is where it was, right? If I go over here, then I should be able to just find that cave and hopefully get a lot of lapis. I'll need that so I can get like a sharpness looting sword so that I can farm creepers so that I can have fireworks, because I have not been keeping my gunpowder this video. Now that we're in the stronghold, I don't exactly know where the cave is, so I kind of have to go find it again. However, first, I found the library, something I didn't find beforehand. Ooh, Unbreaking 3 book, Feather Falling 4. This is actually insane. These are some crazy books. Prot 3, Unbreaking, Feather Falling. Fantastic. Plus, we got a lot of paper, which is good because I have not been farming sugarcane this video, so when I do want to make fireworks and go for another elytra, I'm gonna desperately need that paper. However, I still can't find that cave that we found in the very beginning when I was looking for the end portal, which is what I'm looking for right now, and it's kind of annoying because I want lapis. Eventually, I made it to that giant opening we found a few days ago and used it to scout for lapis. Now, it's not like lapis is the only thing I can grab while I'm down here, but it is the main header for being here. Now, after picking up a ton this time, and I mean enough to not run out for years, I headed down to diamond level to do the exact same thing with a different ore. Eventually, I decided to leave, not without getting a fantastic haul for my troubles. Alright, there we go. Wait, have I been in there? What is this thing? Oh, there's an evoker at the top. Can I take him? I actually think I'm gonna try and take this guy out. Hold on. We're gonna swoop in and hit him, and then if a Vex spawns, we just like dip. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Geronimo! Ooh, baby! Grab it and go! Bye-bye! Free totem, heck yeah. But then I got lost in the sky and didn't know where home was, so cool, I found a totem, but I don't know where to go. Oh, wait, I found it. All right, now that we have the Unbreaking book, I think we put it on our elytra. You can combine elytras, I'm pretty sure, so if we do get a legendary one, I could just put it on top of this and it'll still have Unbreaking. So I do not mind doing this. Now all that's left to do is get our looting sword and grind some nighttime creepers so I can get fireworks and go back to the end. I will get that legendary elytra one day. Something. Wow! Wow! Okay, that's a really good sword. All right, you know what? Fine. We'll make a new one and get the looting on that. Holy crap. I was very unlucky for a while, and I was also doing the level 30s until I realized I should just be rolling level 1s until I see looting. Yeah, I wasted like 20 levels doing that, and I did it again. Oh my word, I am not a very good YouTuber. Well, I ran out of levels trying to do it, so that was cool. Good job, me. I can always count on trusty villagers to bail me out of my failed XP experiments. Unfortunately, I gave up on looting and just decided to make a fantastic Sharpness 5 sword. So instead, we will use the Lucky Charms' guy hat, leprechaun hat, the super lucky hat, instead of my villager hat, and hope that that gives us like an extra looting level or something. I don't know, I'm kind of swinging for the fences now. One being sugarcane, which there happens to be a decent amount of scattered around the world, and the other is creepers. These things also seem to be in abundance this late at night. Unfortunately, I'm apparently not very good at killing them. But I basically did this project throughout the night, and you remember that power gauntlet that we had? Yeah, any crit one-shots any mob, so now I'm pretty overpowered. I stocked up enough gunpowder for the exact amount of sugarcane that I had, which wasn't very much, but I was praying would be enough to go back to the end. What in the zombie horde? Why has this one got a sword? Who gives a sword to a child? This is what happens when you give weapons to kids. I slaughter them. My farm! Bruh. Alright, now I am equipped with 2 stacks of rockets, and I bet you know where I'm headed. That's right, we're going back to the end, baby. Is this going to be some cool epic mission into another dimension? Absolutely not. We're hunting that legendary elytra. However, the legendary elytra's rarity is true to the name. I don't right away find it, or pretty much ever, but we'll get to there. For now, I'm just trying to fly around, get to every end ship that I can, and hopefully roll a legendary. Slowly but surely, I'm losing my mind and willing to settle for a decent elytra. Ooh, okay. A rare with no negative side effects. That is a step in the right direction. We're keeping that one, and we'll keep rolling the other ones until, oh man, till I get a good one. I'll tell you what, these elytras defeated me, okay? Because I was in the end for an hour. I mean, there was some cool stuff that I found, though. Allows the wearer to double jump. Why are there so many cool things for the belt, but like there's only one belt slot? This is so stupid. I need one epic or legendary elytra, and I'm out of here. I've been here for 45 minutes trying to find one. I will go for days. I do not care. I will go make new fireworks. I will come back. I will only use the cloud bottle to get what I want. And I'm gonna do it. Dang it. Guys, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Every elytra is below rare, and whenever I combine them, I just go back down to common. Ah! I did it! An epic elytra! Thank the Lord. We somehow figured it out. Frick this. I'm getting out of here. Wait, I need that. I'm getting out of here. It's actually not even that good. Probably should have left with the rare one, to be honest, but it's alright. Okay, yeah, an epic is great, but I decided to stick around just for one more job. Oh, a legendary one, too! I thought it would give me more speed, to be honest, but I'm just happy to find it. Oh my goodness gracious. Took so freaking long. Now, do I want more hearts? No, I definitely want more speed and armor from the elytra. But the legendary one is just nice to have, I'll tell you what. I started off the day by using my legendary elytra and turning it into Unbreaking 3, finally getting rid of the rare one we've been using. I also sorted my inventory from our end raid. Eventually, we're gonna get some amazing diamond armor set up, but for now, I wanna do some stuff with food. I don't have backpacks, so it's probably useful, right now at least. Do I have any dye? I never have dye. I should probably get some, to be completely honest. All right, here we go. Surely, let's make a white one. Let's make a red one. Then make a blue one. And let me purple. Wait, can we make magenta with this? No, we cannot. Purple it is. Fantastic. Now we have 4 different colored shulker boxes, and I don't know what to do with them, so storage they go. All right, what are we doing today? It's been a while since I've done some food stuff, so I think we should check on our farms, probably harvest these guys, now that I think about it, and use that to make some food. I'm running low. I actually am running low on food. Look at that. That is new for me. I thought I'd have enough to last the entire series. I probably still do with these two combined. But I want to make more food, so we're going to do that now. To make this process incredibly easy, I made a legendary diamond hoe, which did cost a few diamonds, but that's all right, because now that we have this thing, right-clicking crops is an option. All of them harvest at once and are replanted, which is fantastic. I love this. Makes my job incredibly easy. But it is slightly crazy how much food we are planting now. Like, we're going to have 9 full farms of like corn, lettuce, wheat, everything we could possibly need to make some food. And I'm incredibly excited to start experimenting with some more stuff. So let's get to it. I think we have too much food now. I may have gone overboard with the growing of stuff aspect in this game. Burger. Okay. Perfect. We can make some Croptopia stuff, which looks awful. Or we can make some real burgers. Like this loaded hamburger. Can we do this? Wait. We need a fried egg, which is done on a campfire or cooking. Okay, wait, we can cook eggs. Yeah, that's easy. Cook eggs. Does this make a fried egg? Oh, fantastic. Okay, cool. We'll fry up some eggs, which will get us one part of it. We need a cabbage, tomato, onion. All right, let's make sure we have that. We've got cabbage, tomato, onion. Perfect. Okay. And then we need bread. Of course we need bread. We have plenty of bread. Beef patty and bacon. What do we have in here? Oh, we've got some beef patty. Let's mince up some more. So, oh, we got our fried eggs. Perfect. Put our minced beef in there, and let's put our bacon in there. And then once those are cooked, we should be able to form a burger. While those are set to cook, I found out the recipe for spaghetti, which requires some chopped beef, so I did that in the meantime. Right, and then we need raw pasta, which is dough. All right, and then we need tomato sauce, which is 2 tomatoes. All right, let's cut this into spaghetti, which is totally how this works in real life. You just take a knife to dough and you get spaghetti. All right, now we have tomato sauce. We put all of that together and we'll get, so we're getting spaghetti in this one. We're getting dumplings in this one. We take this bacon and this beef and then we craft up some burgers. Oh yeah, the loaded burgers. Oh, what did we run out of? I think we probably ran out of the eggs, but that is all right. Let's put some loaded burgers in here. What other burgers can we do? Let's do another type of burger. Let's just do the regular hamburger, which is everything without the bacon. Boom, 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 boom. We can only do 8. Let's see, can we get some more patties? What if I cut this? What does this cut into? Does this cut into anything? No. That seems ridiculous to me, but all right. What can I do with steak? Oh, we can do a steak sandwich. Oh, we could do a kebab. We don't really have the resources, though, for the tomatoes. Let's do some steak sandwiches. That'll be easy. Boom, boom, boom. Steak sandwich. Perfect. So now in our burger category, we have the loaded hamburger, we have the hamburger, and we have the steak sandwich. Awesome. All right, and then let's check on our... Uh-oh, what's happening in here? All right, well, we've got dumplings, and we've got pasta with meatballs. The dumplings can go underneath our cabbage, and then we've got the pasta with meatballs. Perfect. I am cooking. I'm chefing up a storm. What can we do with bell peppers? Ooh, we can make fruit cake. Supreme. Oh, we can make supreme pizzas. We don't have any of that. All right, we can't do that. We can make fajita. We don't have cheese. How do we make cheese? We get milk. Oh, we cook milk. Oh, hold on. Wait, how do I get milk? Bottle. Milk. I need this. Ooh, I can get 16 from 1. It is now tomorrow. I'm going to get glass so that I can somehow reproduce a bunch of milk, which don't ask me how I'm doing, but I'm going to use you to do it. I'm going to get a bunch of milk, and then I'm going to use that milk to make cheese, and I'm going to use that cheese to make something. I've already forgotten what it is, though. It's fajitas, but I grabbed some sand, then took it home to smelt, and cleared out some of the food we've been cooking the previous day. Look at all this food. This is awesome. Okay, if we add in our kelp rolls in there, then we've got pretty much our whole sushi / Asian section. We've got our fish section. We've got home cooked meal section. We got burger section. We got pasta section. And right now, I've already forgotten what I'm working on, but it's gonna be something. I can't remember what it is, though. It had to do with bell peppers and cheese, which happens to be fajitas. That's what I'm going for that I've already forgotten. But the main issue is, no matter how many crops I had, we were still running out of some of them. So I used some bone meal out in the front to grab some extra tomatoes. That's when I realized some unfortunate stuff with the fajitas. I only have 5 bell peppers? There's no way. I've only got 8 bell pepper? Why was I making a bell pepper item? Anyway, all right. We can add Mexican food to the mix as we now have 16 fajitas. I'm kidding, they're called fajitas. Relax. Relax, people! After that, I made a mutton pasta dish to go with our spaghetti stuff, and used the rest of our mutton and cabbages to make these mutton wraps. 52 of them, to be precise. I've gotten a good bit, and all of my organization is messed up completely. But look at all this food! What do I eat first? I think we probably go with the mutton wraps. I mean, we just made some. Let's leave some in there. But this will be our food storage bin, I guess. We have so much food in here. It's insane, but like, I'm loving it. I'm loving this cooking stuff. This is great. I could start a bakery. I could start a business here. And I am so down to do that when I am not tired. Alright, we've done a lot of farming and building and exploring recently, but I want to work on our armor. We have this full legendary set of diamond to deal with. But first, I tended to a couple chores around the base, like tending to our rice fields and keeping them up to date, as well as using our beautiful axe to chop a bunch of trees down because we're going to use these to trade with the villagers. But I did store some of it away because I want to make an Enderman farm. That does require a bunch of resources though, and a travel to another dimension, so I might hold off a little bit. I'm only going to actually need those levels if I can secure some protection, unbreaking, and mending villagers. Since I don't want to house them at my own base, I'm just going to put them in a wall over here. I personally think it's our duty as Minecraft players to make sure these guys never live a normal life. But rolling for books is something they use to get back at us. I'll tell you what, I should have installed the mod for this, because this is awful. Eventually, I got all of the books that I need, and there were plenty. Then I returned home to figure out how many levels I'm going to need for all these books. But first, the iron gear needed mending, okay? We may not use this set after we get the diamond, but it is still our first set, and one of the greatest I've ever had. On to the Enderman farm. I'm pretty sure I have everything I need for it. Now I just have to be in the end. One thing I had to gather on site happened to be ender pearls. I can't exactly have an abundance of that in the overworld, but here they're everywhere, walking around like they own the place. But when it came time to build the actual farm, I forgot a lava bucket. Now, you don't actually need a lava bucket, thankfully, but it does make the process of getting down to Y0 a lot easier for bridging out 120 blocks. When I got down to that level, I made my second mistake. Normally, you're supposed to bring leaves so that Endermen cannot spawn on this bridge that you build 120 blocks away. If you do make it out of normal blocks like I am, well, you're about to see a horrific thing. That happens. That giant lane of Endermen? Yepers, I have to deal with it. The first steps in this farm are creating the hoppers at the very bottom, then making ring upon ring of spruce all the way up to Y42. This process is quite annoying, mostly because I end up wasting blocks having to build up one and then get rid of it, but making it to the desired height is pretty rewarding. Now all I had to do was build out the massive platform and put an endermite in the middle, which was always the best part. I remember how many times I've accidentally fallen down in the hole, gotten the endermite killed, or forgotten the name tag for the endermite, but this time we pulled it off and had an active and functioning enderman farm. I'll tell you what, this place is loud, but it is very necessary to get that diamond armor. I sat here for more than 60 levels. Half of the time was just the XP trying to go onto my XP bar, but still. That way, when I'm home, it'll be incredibly easy to make our diamond armor. Now that we have levels to our name, I have to start off by adding in the mending and unbreaking books to already set pieces of armor that we got from the end city. However, this costed a lot of levels, like so many levels, to the fact that I ran out almost immediately, and guess I know where I'm headed. Spending days at this farm was truly not my goal. I really thought getting those like 65 levels was gonna be good and I'd be gone, but it wasn't, so I had to sit here and stab Enderman. Returning home though, I did finish off pieces of armor and had a full diamond armor set, all Prot 4, all unbreaking, mostly not mended yet. They'll be mended soon. But at the very least, we now have something better than our previous iron armor. I'm kinda sad to see it go, but that's alright, because now I'm blue. Now, while browsing the GEI menu, I found that there were planes in the game. Okay, we already have an elytra, and I probably should have thought of this sooner, but I want to build a plane, alright? It can't be that hard. Honestly, it just took a bunch of random parts, like pistons, copper tube furnace-looking things, and the ever so expensive blast furnace to finish it off. But technically, we have a plane. Now, I don't exactly know how to fly this thing. It kind of just looks like a boat with wings, but I hoped that our pathway was a long enough, runway. It definitely wasn't. I got no speed whatsoever. Does anyone have their pilot's license? Because I don't. I don't know how to use this thing. I tried to start from higher ground and just keep going, and it did not, well, it ended pretty poorly. I'm not very good at this, I'll tell you what. All right, fair enough. I thought maybe a mountain, you know, some really high up ground that is slightly flat would work better. So I flew to a nearby hill and just prayed again that I'm not gonna end up in a cave. Test flight number 6 taking off, almost falling, but look at that, we did it, we're in the air. We can actually fly around now. I mean, we already could, we had the elytra, but this is still pretty cool, and it's a little bit scenic. Ooh, not what I wanted. Come back, please. Oh, don't go for the lava. Don't go for the lava. The plane test did not go as expected, so I crafted a gyrodyne instead, which truly is just a boat with a propeller. This thing, though, once you actually get it started, works incredibly well. I'm able to fly around the base. Heck, I could probably place with this thing, so I could build something tall. I don't need to, I live in a very small town, but it was nice to get an overview. So I noticed my fireworks were getting kinda low, which is why I started heading back to the end. Probably doesn't make sense now, but that's because I haven't explained my plan yet. I'm harvesting XP, once again, I continue to be here forever, but this time I'm doing it so I can finally get looting 3 on my sword, so that when I kill a creeper, I'll have enough gunpowder for fireworks forever. Would it have been better to probably make a gunpowder farm? Sure, but who has the time for that? Also, those are really annoying. They're like the same level of annoyance as an iron farm for me. I don't like either of them. Many levels later, I got my sword, which looks fantastic, I might say, and we're good for killing creepers. Pretty much the only reason I'm excited for nighttime, because every single mob ever comes out to play, and they don't understand that I'm not playing. And the power gauntlet we got in the stronghold, yeah, I'm one-shotting mobs out here. So it's been a little bit since I got to building, and those rice farm tents that I made are lacking moss. Thankfully, there was a birch and moss biome near our base. I didn't exactly have a plan when this build came into fruition, but the fact that I have to use water bottles to turn dirt into mud, like, this is a terrible system, guys. Like, Mojang, please rework this. But 3 moss mud tents later, I have no idea how to furnish these. They're supposed to be an interior, and I don't know what to do. I think a slight spruce outline with some stripped oak in the middle make a great color palette for the build. And then, of course, I want to do some sort of roofed campfire area for storage. You know, just a couple of exterior chests or crafting table, nothing too fancy. But it was rinse and repeat on every side of every single build. Though I was a pretty big fan of how they turned out. I like this area a lot more now, and our rice is still not growing that fast. Now today I wanted to do some chores, mostly because our farms had fully grown. But there is a slight issue with a full-grown farm. That basically means a full inventory and my house cannot support any more vegetables. So I came up with a temporary solution, just a bunch of barrels and chests throughout the farm. That way we can store everything we need here. Replanting will be incredibly easy, and if I ever need anything for the chefing side of this video, I can just come here. Then I came up with an idea for a new build for our town. And yes, this one's actually going to require birch. I know, how gross. But I'm grabbing all of these tree supplies so that we can make a couple of buildings. One being a bakery, and the other being a bar bakery. I don't know. They're both bakeries in the end. You'll figure it out. Anyway, the first part of making a brand new building is a retaining wall, mostly because I want them on a different level and I don't want to have to terraform a ton. A retaining wall is actually fairly normal, and I'm surprised I haven't done it in a build before, but I think it heightens these builds to a new level that I didn't know existed. However, this was the only thing I was able to do before night fell. We start the day by assessing my brick situation. Mostly because I want to use it for the double bakery we're gonna make, but also because I realized we didn't have that much. That meant spending our day collecting a bunch of clay. However, I have a silk touch shovel, which means the mining is fast because it's a great shovel, but that does mean it's gonna smelt into terracotta, so I'm gonna have to break this apart with a different shovel when I get back to base. I probably should have done that right away, but we can hold more clay, so that's a plus side. You know what, I actually haven't seen my base from above. Maybe we land on one of these trees and look at it. I mean, it looks pretty nice. Once these rice fields grow out a bit more, and the farms are actually grown, and I think, yeah, we definitely need a building there, and probably up there for this to be more complete, and we definitely need more decorations, like leaves, some more color, like we could add the wool, like trading stands all around. That would be cool too. But for now, we do have to smelt. Oh, wait, I can't smelt this. I have to like. Why do I have a silk touch shovel? Please tell me I have a different shovel in here. If not, I have to go back to the end. So, how do you think I'm getting the levels for that new shovel I have to make? Yeah, we're back here breaking my ears with Enderman deaths. I know, it's so much fun. But it was all worth it because on my first enchant, I got the exact shovel I needed. Then came placing like a bajillion clay outside, and then having an absolute blast mining it all back to the ground. We were really high up in the sky. We got a lot of clay. Enough to fill these furnaces for a long time, and probably have to go get more coal, or just keep smelting charcoal like I am. Alright, now on to these bakery builds. I don't exactly have a plan for them, so I kind of just stuck with the outline of having oak on the corners and then filling it in with birch, which looks awful currently until you strip the things. Now for the roof, I just need a bunch of brick, but it's kind of smelting slowly. I mean, we'll see what we can do with what we have. My idea was to do the exact same thing we did with our house, have a stone outline and then fill it in with brick. But I didn't want to make this build too high, like I don't want the roof to go really high up, especially since I already planned for the one next door to be a higher, more barn-like roof. But I think this one turned out really well, especially when adding in granite for that texture difference. I mean, there's plenty of decoration stuff we have to do with that build, but it matches our house really well. And now we have to get to the second bakery. This one I wanted to be for more bread. Like, you think of the first bakery as like the cupcake shop, and then you think of this one as the sourdough bread bakery. So we're going with different tones. We're using oak, spruce, dark oak, and brick, of course, for the roof. However, it took me the entire day and most of the night to just get the outline of this place done, so I have to finish it tomorrow. Speaking of, today is the day. Our brick smelted throughout the night, so we were able to get a ton and finish up this roof. And now that we have the roof done and the arch fully figured out, how am I gonna decorate this place? Right off the bat, I had the idea to open up both bakery entrances and then kind of push them back a bit. And then I do want to have a lot of windows with these buildings because they are shops. Like, that is the whole point of these things. After that, I went out to the wild and started hunting down a bunch of plants. Like, I'm gonna use these flowers for the build. Either it's on the outside or we pot it, but we're gonna need it. I think it just adds a really nice glow to the top of our first bakery, and then I'll figure out how to put it in our second one later. Last but not least, I had to go find some rose bushes out in the wild. It actually took a very long time to find them. I flew around forever, just hoping that I would see them out of the corner of my eye until I did. You cannot tell me these things don't look great in the back of the yard. So I don't really know what I want to do with these places yet, but I think this one is, this one's a little bit cuter. So, and it's a little bit more airy. We got more windows, whatever. I'm thinking we do this as like the dessert type of bakery. So if we can come up with desserts, maybe we could do the smoothies in here. Whatever we got to do. Are there desserts? Is there stuff that, you know, resembles cake? Okay, yeah, there's different stuff. So we can do the bakery here, or like the dessert bakery, and then the actual bakery here. We'll do like the bread, the sandwiches, all bread stuff. I don't know. We got sushi, we got desserts, we got bread, we got home, we got trees, we got rice, we got every crop imaginable. I don't even know what else we need at this point. I've really built up a nice area. You know what we do? We do need villagers wandering around just because they can. I feel like that would be, you know, just nice to have instead of them locked up. I don't know if they'd actually do anything or if they'd like live here and stay here, but we might want them. I don't know, maybe. That'd be kind of fun. For now though, I have to figure out the interior for each of these buildings. For both bakeries, I want to take away their dirt floor and replace it with stone and cobblestone. That way we have some color difference inside of here because most of it is wood and we need some stone. Then came the actual decoration stuff. We're gonna need a lot more stoves, blast furnaces, smokers, chests, barrels, whatever, you name it, we need it. Then I organized what was gonna go where. I mean, I wanted these places to be able to sell their product out to a customer that walks in, orders something from the attendant, and then sits down and enjoys it. And I think I truly accomplished that here. I mean, you can walk inside, order, sit down, enjoy company, whatever. This place is great. But now I have to get to the other bakery, which is still empty. This place I wanted to be a little bit more for me. If I want to come in here and actually cook or something like that, I can. But it's still a nice little bakery that you can come in, sit down, enjoy some company, look out the window, and realize it's nighttime and you have to sleep. So what I'm thinking for the bakery is I gotta get some sweets over there, something that has some sugar in it. So I went through a bunch of different things that I could possibly make, most of which I don't have the resources for, but decided on a couple. I grabbed up all of our fruit, eggs, sugar, and milk because we're gonna be storing that at the bakery and using it for apple cider. That's right, if we add some sugar and apples, we literally just get it. I mean, I don't think a recipe is easier than this, but I don't know how useful it'll be because it's a drink, so I don't know if it actually fills me. Whatever, we're still making it. We also had plenty of extra oranges, so I was able to make 24 orange juice, which does fill me up and do nothing else. I was kind of hoping it would, you know, give me like night vision or something. I don't know, that'd probably be carrots. Whatever. The food storage shulker box is growing. We've got planes in here too for some reason. I just wanted to store them somewhere, but look at all this food we've got. I genuinely don't think we're gonna be starving ever again. One thing I never thought I'd be needing in this video is netherite, mostly because I never planned on fighting anything harsh. Because, well, we're farming, so I didn't expect I'd need to. However, my plan for the last day of this video is to somehow beat a warden. Yeah, I'm hoping the extra hearts really do that for me. Either way, netherite is something I'm going for, which meant staying in this hellish biome forever, until I noticed something wrong with my pickaxe. I'm mining quartz right now, and it is not mending. It's because I forgot to put mending on my pickaxe. How smart of me. Thankfully, we already had a mending pickaxe at home that was an easy sell, and then I smelted up some of our netherite to make the pickaxe a netherite pickaxe. Now I am free to go as far as I want into the nether looking for ancient debris. Deborah's always hard to find, but not for me. I was getting 3 veins left and right. And I really only wanted enough for my armor to sustain the warden. I think I can probably just use a regular diamond sword to kill him. Am I being overconfident? Probably, but that's because I have the power gauntlet now. Either way, we left with 16 and I was able to make my armor. Legendary netherite armor, Prot 4, unbreaking, mending, all the works, baby. We can take on the warden himself. Why am I back in the nether? I'll tell you, alright? So my pickaxe is currently epic, and I want it to be legendary. Does this matter in any way, shape, or form? Not really. However, the legendary pickaxe that I found breaks blocks faster, so I hypothesized that I could insta-break stone with the legendary pickaxe, but with my enchants on the epic one. To make it though, I needed 30 levels, something I currently don't have, and something readily available to me, just in the end, again. But now that I have the legendary netherite pickaxe, let's go outside and test this puppy. Alright, now after all this work, surely I can insta-break stone, right? Like, that's kind of the point of this whole thing, is I have a faster pickaxe. I'll be able to insta-break stone without a beacon, right? Nope. Not even close. So something I wanted to do for the village was add life to it. We pretty much have every building we could possibly do, and we have every farm as shown by, well, me harvesting some rice. But what we don't have are life forms walking around enjoying everything that I've built. So we're gonna go over here to this nearby village and steal them all. Steal all the villagers. This idea probably would have been better had, you know, elytras worked while carrying something, but nope, no, this is just a cruel experience having to go however many blocks holding a villager. He already does seem to enjoy the sushi shop though. Look at him go. He's enjoying his new home. But there's absolutely no way I am walking that distance again, so I've come up with a plan. I'm going to steal all their trees, build up really high, flow some water down, and use it to fly home. This villager and I are about to go for an absolute journey. Frank, we are about to lift off here for the first time in your entire life. But look at, this is a great idea. See, I can see our house. We're flying over. It's so much easier. I don't have to walk at all. I can fly back. Sometimes my genius astounds me. But I did this for a ton of villagers, filling in some of our homes with beds so that they would feel safe and calm. And of course, there happened to be a couple that were still locked up, and I wasn't standing for it anymore. You know, I think they should be allowed out. They should be allowed to walk around and enjoy the town that they helped build. I know, for once I'm being nice to villagers. I don't know if I like it. But I do think it'll be nice to have people walking around. That way I am, you know, not alone out here. I've been here building my own town for the past 100 days, doing absolutely nothing else, and I haven't had a friend, so these guys are my friend now. I'm kind of forcing them to be, but that's the kind of best friend you want. Hello, everybody. Hopefully people are enjoying their new jobs. I don't see anyone in that shop, and you're kind of stuck. Go ahead, bud. There you go. But still no one's working these, mostly because I put barrels outside everywhere. But everything's like running right now. Like, I don't know if I can improve this anymore. We got our sushi shop, we got our wood cutting area, we have a bakery and another bakery. Probably should have thought that one through better. We got our rice field, plantation thingy, whatever. We have our house. I honestly don't know what else I can put here. Like, this place is just, it's pretty much done. Like, look at it. I love it. This is a great farming town. I think maybe we add some silos. Like, that's the only other thing I could think to put around here. But where do I put the silos? Like, I wasn't positive on where they'd go, but for one, I'm gonna need a bunch of copper to pull off any silos on the premises, which just required a lot of mining of literally the worst ore in the game. Why was this added? Either way, we spent the day mining up a storm of this stuff, all right, and coal because we have to smelt it all down. This is a lot of work for our furnaces too. We might need to make more ferni. Either way, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to pull off the build with just copper and spruce. That's all I'm willing to commit to this. I don't think they're gonna turn out that well. All right, so I had an idea for the placement. They were gonna go behind the bakeries and kind of next to the rice fields. I don't know what you can put in silos. Probably only wheat and grain stuff, but maybe we'll put rice in here. Anyway, we started with the small one, mostly because I didn't have the blocks for it. And it would also give me the insight on what I want to do for the cap. You know, the top of the silo that kind of seals it in place. You don't just want a weird copper silo looking thing, so you have to put some effort into it. Okay, that's one silo done. I think it looks all right. I don't know what a silo looks like, but that's it. That's all I could pull off. Now I just have to figure out how to do this one with not that much copper left. Since I was pretty positive that I wouldn't have enough copper, I decided to search the world for just some out in the middle of nowhere. You know, maybe some structures had copper on it. I wasn't getting lucky though. Until I ran into our old evoker tower, now full of pillagers that don't stand a chance, but also full of copper blocks. There's just a bunch of copper on the wall. I mean, sure, it's the green type of copper, but I'll take it. After harvesting every room of that place, I got home and was ready to figure out this bigger silo. Well, now that I have some of the blue blocks, I guess we can try and make this work. I don't have as many as I'd like, but I didn't have as many as I'd like of this color either, so we'll just go with it and see how far up we can get. Realistically, I should have planned this out better, but it still turned out pretty well. We had enough copper to make the semi 3x3, what is it? It's still a 3x3, isn't it? On the inside, it's a 3x3, whatever. And then I basically just copied the spruce from our small silo over to our bigger one. That works out, because I really didn't want to have both of them be the same color copper since we already have so much brick in the village, but that worked out perfectly. I'm glad that structure, that way, I think, had all the copper in it. All right, well, we've landed here. Day 100. I think we've done everything we possibly could with food. Realistically, the only thing we missed out on was beer, which I'm kind of glad we skipped over. But now comes the time where I, a slight leprechaun, kind of, have to leave our village and fight the scariest thing in Minecraft. Hopefully, this netherite armor can save me because I could end up dying here. But I'm willing to do it mostly for the thrill because I've kind of just been staring at farms for the entire video, so I think this will be a fun change of pace. Now, wardens, if you know, live under frozen peaks, so I have to journey for a mountain. But not just any old mountain will do. This small little hump is nothing compared to what I find. Wow. Wow, this is beautiful. I gotta use Terralith more, but if there is a frozen peak in this game, this has to be it. So surely there's a warden underneath. Oh, I may have been right. Maybe? There's only a single... You know what? I'm just going to keep going down and hope that I was right after all. I, in fact, was correct. There was plenty of skulk. Now I just had to find the ancient city. Wait, why am I being quiet in real life right now? Just because I'm scared in game doesn't mean I am in real life. Okay, I'm a little bit scared, but I don't see an ancient city. I really wanted to find a god apple before I took on one of these things. Also, is that diamonds or am I tripping? Aha! There was one. Fantastic. I just want a single god apple before I fight the warden. You know, I could just rush in to get god apples and then fight the warden later. That seems like a silly idea, but the one I'm gonna go with. Look at me go, incredibly reckless and still not getting a god apple from either chest. Great job, me. Maybe these ones will have it, and no. shocker, I'm gonna have to fight a warden without any regen ability other than normal gaps. Hello, Mr. Warden. I need to lure you somewhere where I can't spawn another warden. Oh no, he's chasing a bat. he's chasing a bat right now. Okay, where do I drag him to? All right, come on, little buddy. Come on, you can smell me. All right, surprise attack time. I should have brute strength. Oh ho ho! I did it! I killed the warden! Normally I'd die to this guy. I actually didn't for once. That's awesome. All right, let's get the heck out of Dodge. I don't want to be here anymore. Heading home, I was feeling really good about myself. I mean, we accomplished the biggest thing in this 100 days. I mean, sure, building the farming village was everything in this video, and I loved it, but we built up a full legendary set of netherite armor and took on a warden in hand-to-hand combat and then forgot potions. I think that's a win. We're gonna call him Wilford. We beat up Wilford. All of this is a tribute to what we did. Hello? Are you kidding me? All right, we'll do this. There. Everything we did, the yogurt we crafted, the pasta and mutton, the hamburgers that I'm currently eating, the apple cider, eggs, everything. The farmland, we did it. All of our villagers who are probably gonna die pretty soon, thanks to this guy. Seriously, like, I probably should have built some villager homes so that they had a place to sleep. But who wouldn't want to live in a moss-covered mud hut? I put beds in here. See? They're fine. Plus, who wouldn't want to come to the sushi bar with no chef and sit down over by the water, stare at their bamboo or their spruce sapling, and have a nice piece of sushi? I'm very happy with this. If you guys are happy with this, like the video, please. This took a lot of work. I very much so love this town, and I hope you guys do too. I'm gonna go to bed now and finally rest after beating literally everything in the game. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. I'm sorry for how long this video took, but I hope it was worth it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.